This weekend, it's make or break for Richmond and Adelaide. Head-to-head in the first semi-final. The Tigers versus the Crows live 7 o'clock tonight in the Wizard Home Loans Cup on 9.
Introducing the Quick Pulsar sale. If you want the quicker, more powerful 1.8 litre Pulsar, you can now get $1,200 off. That's right, $1,200 off 1.8 litre sedans and hatches. And like all Pulsars, air conditioning is standard. Of course, you can still get the 1.6 litre Pulsar with air for just $19,990. The Quick Pulsar sale won't last forever, so guess what? You'd better be quick.
With LG's spacious side-by-side fridge, everything has its place. LG, life's good.
Dreamland Bedding is having a run-out sale, but it's only for 3 days. Beds, mattresses, ensembles are all being sacrificed at never-to-be-repeated prices. So join us in our car park or buy off the back of our truck or in our showroom or out of our warehouse. It's a run-out. It's all got to go. But hurry, it's for 3 days only. Bring your truck. Bring your trailer. It's all got to go. Dreamland.
Footy fans, if you have the passion, we have the power. The power needs you to cheer them to victory in 2002, and the smartest way to do it is with a season ticket. Prices start at $110 for adults and $39 for children for 11 home games, including Showdown 12. For all inquiries and to get the best deal for you and your family, ring the Power Hotline now on 8447 9900. Don't waste your passion. See the game live. Ring 8447 9900 now.
Due to Channel 9's live coverage of the Wizard Home Loans Cup semi-final between Adelaide and Richmond, tonight's episode of Shafted will not be seen. So to find out who will shaft and who will share, join us tomorrow afternoon at the special time of 5 o'clock. The Wizard Home Loans Cup. Brought to you by Holden. Mitre 10. Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL. The Army. And Viking, the chocolate bar with horns.
Hello everybody, welcome to AFL on 9. This is Friday night football from Colonial Stadium. It's the Wizard Home Loans Cup semi-final match between Richmond and Adelaide. The Tigers have not won this style of competition, whether it was the night series or the pre-season competition, since 1962. 40 years ago, the Adelaide Crows have made 2 grand finals in recent times, but have yet to hold up the silverware. There's the Tigers, they're out on the track, and there's number 41, Royce Vardy, who made the headlines this year for all the wrong reasons. And joining me now before the Adelaide Crows run out onto Colonial Stadium, you can hear the siren going in the background. Gary Lyon, starting to feel like fair dinkum football now, isn't it?
A very good evening to you, Eddie. It is. It's finals weather. There's no question about that. It's just at the wrong time of the year. But these two sides, once they get to this this point in the season, this Wizard Home Loans Cup, they are fair income. They want to get through to the grand final.
An interesting step between these two sides. Let's have a look at it straight away. The Crows, 348 points. They are the highest in the competition at scoring so far.
They've been outstanding, undefeated through the series, of course. Richmond, by Danny Frawley's own admission, haven't really hit their straps. They've struggled through, but they've got there. They're ready to go right now.
No Gasper, no Holland tonight, so the acid will be on this bloke.
Matthew Richardson is a genuine superstar of the competition. His great strength is his athleticism. Here he's against Ian Prendergast, who was a champion schoolboy athlete. Look at this. Within the space of 15 metres, Richardson puts 5 yards on Prendergast. Right there, Richo's in the box seat. Prendergast is praying for some help, and here it comes in the form of Matthew Allen, the ruckman, that will drop back across Richardson all night. He did on that particular occasion. If he wasn't there, he was in a hell of a lot of trouble. Scott Freeborn comes in for the drop of ball. It's 3-on-1, and you also see Simon Beaumont come through as well there. So they're going to double team, triple team him, and just while we're there, Andrew Cracker, he's got to realise if he's going to make some crumbs there, Richardson, he's got to get to the drop of the ball.
And it's quite simple for Richmond too. When they hold more marks than their opponents, they win. Last year, that was the stat.
And they try and make it easy. Right there again, Richo's got the drop, but Joel Bowden says, I might just try and help him out a little bit here, Eddie. He puts in a screen. That's the common vernacular.
For a shepherd.
It is, a shepherd, but he's not too subtle. Right there, Richo's away, he's home free, but the umpire's able to pick that up. If you're going to do something like that, you've got to be a bit more subtle.
OK, so the Tigers are going to be looking for Richo. They always do. He needs to hold his marks tonight. Let's have a look at the rest of the lineup for the Tigers tonight. And as I said there, Gasper and Holland obviously leaves a hole at each end.
It does indeed. So someone like Joel Bowden's really got to step up to the plate. Struggled last week with the tag of Franchina, so he's an experienced player. Expect him to really relish the conditions tonight. Houlihan, young kid, goal scorer. The recruiting spree pre-season was to get some goal scorers. He's shown a fair bit. And the other player you mentioned earlier, Royce Vardy, had an indifferent pre-season. Eddie's first game back, so as you say, he'll be hell-bent on redeeming himself.
All right, that's the Tigers. Let's change our focus now to the Adelaide Crows, and Tony Jones is with their coach, Gary Ayres.
Thanks very much, Eddie. Well, Gary, a 5-day break, a hostile crowd, not quite what you had in mind.
Oh, well, we've been doing this road trip now for 11 years, Tony, so really the 5-day break, well, that was obviously designed by the AFL, but we're just going to come out here and have a real crack, and that's what we've been doing the last 3 weeks.
And you gave the boys a fairly easy week on the track?
Yeah, well, we had to, because we obviously didn't know until Monday when we were going to be playing, Friday or Saturday, but, you know, really they've probably done no more than about an hour's work.
All right, all the best, Gary. Good on you.
Thanks, Tony.
Good on you. Gary Ayres there with Tony Jones. Let's have a look at the Adelaide Crows lineup. You wouldn't think at this stage of the year that the 5-day break would have too big an impact,
I wouldn't think so. It wasn't a vigorous hit out against Melbourne last week. They're the best clearance team in the competition. I'll just let that one slide out.
Yeah, they flogged you last
year. Matty Clark, since coming from Brisbane, he gets his hands on the foot. He's an important player, as is this man, Mark Rasciuto. When he gets angry, that's when he plays his best footy. He had a tag on Simon Godfrey. He was tagging him last week. And there was a Mark Rasciuto of old. He had a bit of an indifferent year last year, came good towards the end. But for Adelaide Crows fans, when they see Rasciuto do things like this, kick goals, the score, you can see it there, it's a good lead. He says, I might give a free kick away just to make sure the boys know I'm fair dinkum. Zilla might get the job on him, and he might get a bit of that treatment tonight as well, Ed.
Absolutely. The boy from Waikerie there, Mark Rasciuto, there he is on centre screen. The captain of the Adelaide Crows. He hopes to lead them into a Wizard Home Loans Cup Grand Final. We'll be back after the break to see how they go in the opening stanza. It's the Wizard Home Loans Cup semi-final on AFL on 9. It's the Tigers versus the Crows right after this.
To steal the ultimate prize and catch the ultimate thief, you have to set the ultimate trap.
What do you have in mind for bait?
Sunday night at the movies.
There can be nothing personal. You do your part, I do mine.
Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
This is called entrapment.
Actually, it's called blackmail.
Jump aboard the blockbuster premiere, where one wrong move could be your last. Entrapment, 8:30 Sunday on 9.
I was actually on the first plane that went in. You know, to go into another country that's been ravaged by war and devastation, it was definitely a life-changing experience. I had a team of 30 soldiers. Basically, it was my job to take control, make sure that the soldiers and the locals were safe. Undoubtedly, all my officer training really came to the forefront. You know, I didn't really think about it at the time, but it was a pretty full-on job for a 23-year-old. You spend 18 months doing officer training at RMC Duntroon. When you graduate, you take charge of your own team of soldiers. And when I did that, it's probably one of the best moments of my life.
The Titanic. Recreate the magic of the world's most celebrated liner by constructing this amazing wooden model week by week. Build the Titanic Part 1 with step-by-step instructions, 2 magazines and model sections on sale now, only $5.95.
Update to a new appliance and save right now at Radio Rentals. Save $20 on a Victor 2-stroke lawnmower, $479 cash or $535 weekly rental. Just part of the great Victor range at Radio Rentals. Save $20 on an LG DVD, $329 cash or $350 weekly rental. Yep, update to a new appliance and save right now at Radio Rentals. And check out the other great specials in the Radio Rentals catalogue. Radio Rentals, we know our stuff.
£7, 6 ounces. With Dad's nose. It's a boy. So tonight, the Milky Bars are on me.
Milky Bar now comes in 2 grown-up flavours. New creamy caramel and new creamy white Milky Bar. Soft, delicious centres wrapped in that great Milky Bar taste. You don't have to be a kid to love Milky Bar.
Sink or swim.
The kid with no lessons will go straight to the bottom.
One child dies every week.
He's dead. Your son's dead. Why didn't I hear?
Laurie Lawrence's passionate crusade.
Rather have a kid cry than a kid dead.
The row over teaching kids to swim.
You can tell that to your paediatrician friends.
Also, the elephants who fooled the Aussie artwork.
Picasso, Chagall, it's all there.
And saved themselves. When Toyota presents 60 Minutes, Sunday, 7:30.
Welcome back to Colonial Stadium, the Wizard Home Loans Cup. It's the semi-final toss of the coin. Mark Rashino, Wayne Campbell of the Tigers. Campbell wins the toss and will be kicking to the Coventry end of Colonial in the first term. Let's go down to Tony Jones for the latest from the boundary line.
Thanks very much, Eddie. Well, it could be a bit of a blessing, Adelaide Crows playing here at Colonial Stadium. 3 of their first 6 matches of the regular season will be at this ground, so they'll certainly get a good feel for it. Good evening, Doc Larkins.
Good evening, Tony. No real surprise for the selections tonight, of course. Mark Dragicevic and Darren Gasper missing with their injuries from last week. Interesting, Paul Hudson's been omitted from the side tonight, so no injury, just dropped for tonight's game.
Just quickly while you're there, Pete, the big story, of course, the last couple of days. Spider Everett of St Kilda had surgery today. Any news?
Yeah, I understand had surgery today, Ed, repairing the medial ligament. That's a 3 to 4 month proposition before we'll see Spider this season.
OK, thanks, Doc Larkins. Joining us tonight to call all the action, Dennis Cometti in the special comment seat with Gary Lyon. It's Dermot Brown. Welcome aboard, Dennis.
Good on you, Ed. Beautiful night. Tigers won the toss. They're going left to right. There's the bounce. In fact, make it right to left. One down by Ottens. Socket off the ground by Campbell. Bode. Quick hands away. Fiora. Surrounded. Knights hurriedly. Kicks it down towards half forward. Knocked on down there by Cracker. Plenty of Crows back. One of them, McLeod, overran it. Tawney slides in. Did pretty well in a tight situation. Kellaway smothered off the boot. Cracker half chance. Bassett's over the footy. Kellaway met him solidly. Down goes Beckley. Whistle. And a throw up about 35 metres out. Umpires tonight, Matthew James, Scott McLaren, Martin Ellis, Darren Goldsbeck. Richo comes up, tries to direct it down. Bassett goes a full rotation. King with courage. Zilla, quick hands. Richardson feeds it back. Campbell goes off a step and kicks the opening goal.
Well, it's a very good start. It's an excellent start for Richmond. All the important players have been involved, and Wayne Campbell certainly there. Late in the game last week, it looked like he might have had a hamstring, of course, but he got through the week OK. And, well, his ability to get boot the ball. Have a look at the hands from Richardson here. Bang on the boot there. There was the smallest of gaps, and he's the best in the competition, Dermot, at banging that ball onto his boot.
Yeah, very quick hand to foot there, and just position themselves, put pressure right in the middle of the forward line there. You can't get a better opening goal than that.
So the opening minute of the game, and the Tigers have got the first goal on the board. Umpires waiting to get a light on play. They get so now. The goal to the Tigers. Centre square action. Up goes Big Otten's beautiful tap. It came down to Campbell, who couldn't quite grab it. Smart now. Gets the ball working. There's the little master McLeod inside the forward 50. Courage from the Tigers. Cameron scoops the ball up. The umpire has paid the free kick the way of Richmond. He's pulled it back. Tigers, through their former captain Matthew Knights, transferred play to Joel Bowden. He runs to half-back, has a bounce, likes to bounce the ball, he has a second go. Now to centre wing with a third bounce. Looks up. Richardson ran out of play, comes up towards Kellaway, who's happy to take it to the boundary line under pressure from Smart. Will have a throw in about 65 metres out from the Tiger goal.
You made a good point, Eddie. I mean, Matthew Richardson made reasonable ground there, and Joel Bowden elected to carry the footy, so he did run himself out of position.
Boundary throw in, as is customary. The ruckman will lock up. Campbell's kick smothered. McLeod towards the wing. Poda half chance. Stenglein rather tentative. Spills across the boat. Free kick going to Tivendale. Held without it. Alongside the centre circle, Tigers lead by 6 points. This is the first semi-final of the Wizard Cup. Kick inside the 50. On the lead, Ottens. Two-pronged attack. Always dangerous.
Big Matty Clark ran back to give a bit of a hand to Stevens, who was minding Richardson, and then he just got caught. Ottens let out a beautiful lead straight past him, and as you saw there on the replay, he had to chase him out and couldn't make up that ground.
Makes it difficult for opposition clubs if Ottens works hard into attack, because all of a sudden the focus is shared between Ottens and Richardson.
Well, kick from just inside the 50. Starts at left, it's bending back, beautiful goal. Their second.
Limonaro is back. Game over.
So 2 goals in the opening 4 minutes to the Tigers. They lead by that margin, and Brad Otten's already amongst it. He's had the first couple of tap-outs, and he's got another one there. It comes to ground. Goodwin was in hard for the Adelaide Crows. Bowden will have to come back onto his left. He's tackled and thrown unceremoniously to the ground. Inside 50, Rashido. Beautiful hands. He gets the ball out beautifully to Rutten. His kick was ordinary, though. And wobbles through for a point. So the young rookie, captain South Australia last year in the Under-18 Championships, kicks the first score for the Adelaide Crows.
Been promising too. Cameron to bring it in. So good in this situation normally. Shell working hard about 15 metres out, as you can see. Cameron short, not 15. Campbell back to Cameron. Zantuck up towards left half back. Metres in the clear. Goes for distance towards the wing. Richardson and Stevens dropped it, did Richo. Bassett flicked it back. He's got a sense of humour. Sliding in there is Stenglein. Richardson stood up. The hand pass comes out wide. Houlihan looking everywhere. Busy eyes. Plenty of time. Pulls it back to the middle. Kellaway on his chest. Runs on immediately. Kicks for space. Cracker going back. Bickley comes back body on body. Did well. Cracker tried to knock it down. Bickley. Tumble turn if you don't mind. Clark over the top. Hart with time. In short. Stevens right half back. Up towards the wing. Bowden best position. Takes the mark. Keeps it in. Plays on. Runs down to left half forward. Unwinds. Tailor-made for Richo. Up he goes. Couldn't hang on. Bassett camped in front. Advantage is paid. Well, they took a bit of time. Stevens releases McLeod. Kicks to midfield. Rutten had it knocked away by Barty. Barty charges through. Ottens now alongside the centre circle. Wide for Cracker. Bickley closing. Interfered. Cracker's free kick.
Yeah, Mark Bickley's fault there was he took his eyes off the ball, and it was the softest of taps to Cracker's stomach, but he got pinged because he took his eyes off the ball and made contact.
A 19-year-old Andrew Cracker, who played 3 games last year and kicked 3 goals straight, originally from South Fremantle. Soft, says Dermot.
The free's there, Ed, by the rules, but it's soft.
So we get a very good shot here. Reverse angle shot of Andrew Cracker coming in. Nice delivery. He's just hooked it across the body, though, as you can see. Won't make the distance. Richardson's marked it on the line. 2 Crows flew, played on straight away, and has kicked the goal, but the umpire's going to bring him back around. He's going to come back and take his kick, which is one of the more ridiculous.
Yamaha and Winston Music for pianos and keyboards. Winston Music are offering Yamaha store-wide savings. Scoop purchase 20 only Yamaha 76-note digital pianos reduced to $595. Yamaha keyboards from only $129. $600 off new Yamaha Clavinova digital pianos. Save $1,000 on a great Yamaha upright. Rent to own a new Yamaha piano for only $22 per week. Great deals on the entire range of new and pre-loved Yamaha pianos. Winston Music, 87 Winston Avenue, Door Park.
Adelaide 1 point, and that's something that the Rules Committee need to have a look at. They are far too hot on that time on whistle when the ball is in the forward 25.
They'll argue, Ed, that if you go out of the ground over the line, you have to come back into play before they're going to call it. So that's their excuse, but yeah, there's got to be a bit of leniency.
Margin 12 points, Hart to the outer side. Stevens, strong mark in front. Runner-up best and fairest last season. Left half back. Winner goes through to the final of the Wizard Cup. Stevens told to play on after 15 seconds to Clark. Bode, forward of half back, across the ground into space. This is Bassett. Forced to stop. Johnson on the wing, looks down towards half forward. Shell comes on the lead. Appear to push in the back there. There's going to be a free kick to Hall. Blatant.
A couple of midfield matchups. Stengline's going with Matthew Knights, which is a huge compliment for an old fella, and Clinton King with McLeod.
Vardy taking a chance, doing well and getting back was Binky. Otten surrounded, tosses it across towards Zantuck, and it's a throw. Crows free kick. Clark out of scoring range. He's about 60 metres from goal. Shell offers, that's ignored. Pops it up about 15 metres out. Shell goes back, contests the mark. Off his fingertips, taken by Knights. Slips a hand pass away into space. Cameron, looking in the rear vision mirror, kicks it towards the outer side, wants the boundary. Bickley, good use of the body. Cracker in the front row, but Bickley couldn't find the footy inside the boundary.
Probably something they want to try not to have to do too often is go to Cracker one-on-one with Bickley. I mean, Bickley's got a really big body, strong body against a young bloke, so it's just a structural thing. Rogers is probably the player that's got to push up and present the target when they're coming out of half-back.
Otten's beautiful tap again. It's picked up there by Stengline. He was pushed off the ball as he tried to get his kick. Zilla, as always, at the bottom of the pack, gets up. It'll be a ball up. Just saw that stat from last year where the Tigers won every game they won, had the most marks in. Tonight it's 6-5 in favour of the Tigers, so it's line ball. Grappling competition. Dermy thought a free kick. Oh, well, half chance, Ed. Either that or you're coughing your pie up. Half chance, mate. Bickley tried to get the handball up, but Zilla kicked up the half-forward flank. Richardson battling hard. That's a good contest there against Stevens. Richo, high up and under. Did it go the 15 metres forward? Yes, says the umpire. Smart from behind. It's picked up. Houlihan to the pocket. Bowden handballs into the hot spot, but it's picked up by Hart for release for the Adelaide Crows.
The Stengline. Inside his defensive 50. Rashudo, been wonderful in the Wizard Cup. Releases smart through midfield. Probing kick well inside the 50. High ball. Shell was being held, was he? Yes, he was, according to the umpire, who was perfectly positioned 15 metres away.
Dennis, you would have seen a bit of this fellow over in the West with the Dockers before he made it.
Yep.
He does have some raw talent, doesn't he? He hasn't turned it on yet, but he does have raw talent.
He can take a mark, certainly. Needs to really work on his ground play. I think 12 games for 10 goals last season. Twice he was South Fremantle's leading goal scorer. He's 40 metres out directly in front. Needs to take his opportunities. He's done it this time. Goal.
Members get more out of statewide super.
I chose statewide because I didn't want my super up in the air. I wanted extra special performance, managed by people who know what's going on in the world. I had a choice of fund options and chose the ones just right for me. I like my super, like my customers like my pizzas. Speciale.
Statewide Superannuation Trust, your key to super you can trust.
So a soft free kick allows Daniel Shell to kick the first major for the Crows tonight. They trail by a goal. Back in the centre. It's Richmond 13, Adelaide 7. Ottens again. Good second effort by the big man. Ball like a pinball in the centre of the ground at the moment. Callaway trying to dash out of it. Umpire says, give it to me, we'll throw it up again.
Eddie, the Adelaide Crows were the second best or second highest scoring team in the first quarter last year, all of last year. They're very good starters. So from this point of view, Richmond will be well pleased.
Clark and Ottens. Ottens got the tap to no one in particular. Clark actually did the roving, got it out beautifully. The running Prosciutto goes inside 50 over the head of Shell. Here's a chance for Binky. He's thrown to the ground. Tiger fans say ball. Umpire says play on. Shell does it beautifully. Close to the ground. Will it bounce through? It doesn't. Across the face. And through for one behind. So the Crows now starting to get a little bit of midfield run through their skipper.
They are. Brett Burton's been their star up forward. He's a superstar. An interesting matchup to him. Aaron Fiora, young fella. It's an interesting pick.
Yeah, well, I think they probably expect that Burton won't pay much of a defensive notion to his opponent, and if they get Fiora to expose him and get a bit of run out of him and deliver it downfield in good nature.
Cameron with precision. Fiora on the outer side. It's the ground running. High ball towards the wing. Working back, Beckley does brilliantly. Held his position initially. Worked off Rogers. And took the falling mark. Mark Beckley towards half forward. Fiora battles with Burton. Burton slips it away. Doughty hard against the boundary line. Centering kick. High ball push in the back that time. Well, they're alternating free kicks down there. This time against Shell. Paul lays it off. Bowden runs it out. Kicks it up towards the wing. Kellaway's in front. Closing speed from Smart. Edwards stood up in the tackle. Off a step, Johnson. In from the side, a chance for Vardy. Slapped away by Rutten. Quick hands by Tippendale. Bounces back to it. Well done. Feigned a hand pass. Emerges from the congestion. Made something out of nothing. Utton's away. Looks for Richo. No, he's not down there. Double team, though. Clark goes back. Knocked it away from Houlihan. 3-on-2. Houlihan butters up again. Beckley hits for the boundary line. Trying to pluck it out of there was King. It trickles across the line, tantalisingly, in a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, that was one of the strange positional matchups. They pushed Matty Richardson out to the half-forward flank, and they pushed Houlihan back to full forward in the goal square for the last 5 minutes. When they went long to him, it was a mismatch.
Rory Hilton to the left of screen, you can't see it at the moment, is lurking in the goal square all on his own. Tippendale over to Richardson. He can have a flying shot on the left foot. To Shaka, there's Rory Hilton coming into play now. Hilton has the sit, taps it forward. Bickley gets across to help out his teammate there in Stevens. The umpire will bounce it forward 40 for the Tigers.
I think it's good to be unpredictable with Matthew Richardson, because then it makes it difficult to go back and zone him, as we saw in the pre-game there. The opposition ruckman will automatically go to where he thinks he is. If Richo's out of position a bit, well, it just drags him out of that hole.
The only problem was the rest of the teammates kicked a full forward for Richo like usual, and Clark chopped off Houlihan.
Richo in there again, but it was Clark who got the tap. Here's Kane Johnson from right on defensive 50. Kicks it to centre half forward. The young fellow was running at the front of the pack. Front and square again was Bowden. He did well. Maybe pushed in the back. Umpire said play on. And the umpire says go as Tawney gets the handball at the kick out. Now it comes out to Kellaway. For Ottens, who can just take his time and kick from right on 50 and drills it. Goal to the Tigers, and big Brad Ottens loves those ones. They move to 3-1-19. Adelaide 1-2-8.
Well, the best possible start, Eddie, from a Richmond point of view, but also from a structural point of view, because Brad Ottens is causing Adelaide a hell of a lot of pain, because Matthew Clark, every time the ball goes into the Richmond forward line, pays him absolutely no respect and heads straight into the direction of Matthew Richardson, and he will learn the painful lesson. He's already learned it twice, that Brad Ottens will go forward, and he's an attacking force in his own right. So this is going to aid Richmond enormously. Ottens has had 4 touches. He's taken 3 marks. He's kicked 2 goals. I don't think Matthew Clark's going to let him push inside 50 on his own too much longer.
46 goals last season for Brad Ottens. Clark over the top, Stengline hurriedly down towards half forward. Tawney reaches over Bode, knocks it towards the middle. Edwards, valuable player, kicks inside the 50. It bounces awkwardly, runs on towards the boundary. Getting back is Hall with some time. Needs to be precise, and that's a beautiful kick coming out. Bowden on the defensive 50. Cameron provides the run, kicks to Richardson right on the wing. Spots a man in short. Houlihan stretches, takes the mark, flirted with going, to Campbell. Inside the centre square. Otten's favoured by the kick. Knocked away. In front, Downey. Hilton working hard. Trapped it pretty well. In the back, Downey will get the free. Advantage is paid. They bring it away. Kick high around the outer side from Burton. Bode. Bassett, they're doing it alphabetically. Bassett kicks down towards half forward. On the lead is Shell. He's looking okay.
Big Matthew Clark behind play has not moved for about 2 minutes. It's no injury. He's just spent. He's blowing really hard. He's had 4 possessions. He's had a couple of tap-outs in the middle, playing his heart out. And he needs a break big time because the Richmond ruckman Ottens and the rest of the midfield are running him around.
Daniel Shell going at his second. Margin is 11 points. Good effort. Good kick from long range. Shell gets his second.
Due to Channel 9's live coverage of the Wizard Home Loans Cup semi-final between Adelaide and Richmond, tonight's episode of Burke's Backyard will not be seen.
Oh, hi, Scotty. I just couldn't manage this on my own.
I'm getting a hug and a kiss if it kills me.
So join us tomorrow night at the special time of 7 o'clock.
Who's toughest? Aussie rules or rugby league? Get ready for a huge night of entertainment with Billy Thorpe, Scandalous, plus 5 bouts in the Clash of the Codes, including Jackson versus Meninga. The McDonald's Fight for Life, Saturday on 9.
Case of go well, go Shell for the Crows so far there. He's kicked 2 goals, 1 in his opening term. We've played nearly 18.5 minutes, and it's the Tigers by 5 points. In a good game of football here in the Wizard Home Loans Cup semi-final match of 2002. Line ball in, the ball up there between Clark and Ottens. Now the ball spills. Knights on his left foot, trying to get the handball going. It's a bit too hot for his teammate. The Birdman Burton kicks and kicks out in the full.
Started in the centre square on that ball up, or bounce down, did Brett Burton, so he's got the running capacity to play as a midfielder as well.
Timmondale was first over to get the ball, and he was able to run 20 metres up to Richardson, used his body beautifully, took the mark. 55 out, he goes to Cracker! Takes it out in front of his eyes. Stood 55 out, but a far better angle. Young Andrew Cracker has decided he's going to have a crack at the goals.
Big Clark making his way down to the goal square now, and he's probably taken too long, unless he definitely thinks he's going to get the distance here.
So Cracker will kick from just inside 50. He gets onto it. The distance is no problem.
Yep.
And he has missed it to the left-hand side.
Had 2 shots at the goals, Ed, and he's pulled both of them left so far.
Well, I tell you what, there'd be Andrew Kellaway be scratching his head. He was in space then. He should have gone to him, Andrew Kellaway.
Margin 6 points here. Smart driving it wide. Stevens, metres in the clear, can gather this loose ball and move on. Settles, looks towards the middle. Burton in a contest, and it knocked away. Spills wide to Stenglein though. Stenglein inside the centre square, sets it up for Shell. Fingertips to it, couldn't hang on. Goes to ground and the ball spills out of bounds. 20 plays, 14, approaching quarter time. Boundary throw in. 3-2, 2-2. Ottens has 2 goals. So 2 Shell.
A lot of space out the back here. You see them trying to loiter out the back there. Bickley's trying to get in space.
Loitering with intent. Vardy comes away though. Kicks towards the boundary. Effective kick. Bounces out of bounds. Well done in that situation.
Good to see Royce Vardy back in action. Had a hard summer, of course, after he busted for over the drink drive limit, and then having a very hard month where he was banned from training with the team. TAC and the Tigers have now sorted things out. Ottens gets the tap. Diving on top, we'll have another bounce.
That's what Adelaide do, Ed. You get the shot of this. They play about 4 or 5 man forward line, and they just put 5, 6, 7, 8 men around the ball to strangle it. Got a lot of confidence in their on-ballers to win the ball and take them away from these areas.
Umpire saying I'm going to be backing out. Cameron almost ran into him there. Would have been a certain free kick and possibly a report. It was a near thing. Centre wing. Out comes Kane Pettifer. Good young player from Kyabram, where the stars come from, Gary Lyon.
Correct, Edward.
Bickley now has the ball on centre wing. He thumps it inside 50. Burton! couldn't quite hold it. Last touch of the ball, I think, there from Bowden was the spoil was good. Out it comes again. Tigers with numbers. It comes out to the boy from Woy Woy. Hall. Running it out again. The Tigers through Knights to half-back flank. To Richardson. Centre wing on his chest. Ottens is on. The kick was a shocker though. Rashudo trapped it beautifully. Picked up now by McLeod. Handball's back. Clark looking for Rashudo. Now he finds him. The Roo runs to 50. Tries to crash. The Dono. He didn't work on that occasion. And Knights relieves for the Tigers.
Here's Ottens. Play on's the call. Campbell overlapping. Kicks inside the 50. Hilton back in the team. Hart with the poise though. Worked him off the line of the footy. Bassett storming through. Kicks it up towards the wing. Johnson. Nobody near him. Johnson decides to go. Kicks inside the 50. Binky, this will be interesting. Knocked away by Zantak. Well played. Down in front, Rutten. Fiora will be forced to kick with his right foot. This will be a test. Did okay? Well, no. It was a test. On that occasion, he failed. Bounds on the foot.
Sorry, Dan, you've got to hand it to Richmond's coaching staff. The minute, a couple of unusual ones. Fiora on Burton and Zantak on Binky. Wouldn't have been my first pick.
Smart, good kick, good lead. Shell again.
And this bloke's been their standout forward. The other two haven't given too much tonight at all. And Daniel Shell's been left to fall on his shoulders. So a couple of wins for the Richmond coaching staff.
Dr. Peter Larkins, Campbell off for the Tigers and blowing pretty hard after 5 possessions in the first term.
Ed covering a lot of ground tonight, Ed, working really hard, and you can see just how it's taken out of him. No problems, just needs a breather.
King on for the Tigers.
This to level the scores. Right angle. We ride the kick home. It just tails away behind.
So 2 goals, 2 to Daniel Shell, who's certainly showing something up forward for the Adelaide Crows.
Yes, he comes to the footy really well. Looks like he's pretty much at home in front of the goal square.
Tigers bring the ball to centre wing. Beautiful mark. Bowden's been looking the goods tonight. That was play on. 7th disposal for Joel Bowden. Over the top to Tawney, who's had a very good Wizard Home Loans Cup. Kicks in to Pettifer. Handballs off to Zilla. Zilla running around in circles. He has got a man on it. And a half forward. He hits him on the chest. Tivendale, who is a thumping left foot kick, gets back quickly. Houlihan wanted it out in front. Rashudo zoned off, so Tivendale might set sail for home. 24.5 minutes gone opening term. It's the Tigers by 5 points. 6th disposal coming up for Greg Tivendale. Durable player. From just outside 50. Can get the distance, no doubt about that. He gives it an almighty roost up towards the goals, but it's offline. Again, just fading on his trajectory to the left-hand side and through for a point. So it's a goal, the difference of 3-3-21. Adelaide 2-3-15.
Saw Matty Clark there, just get the hand on it. He's probably the only bloke who could out-jump Matthew Richardson in the comp.
Good one. Got it from Johnson. Works around the outer side. Interesting bats. Practicing to be an umpire. Feeds it back towards the middle. Stenglein. Good one again. Quality player. Kicks in short. Bode. He's been in very good form. Bode just forward of the wing. Goes for distance inside the 50. Vardy tries to slap away from Shell. Burton hard against the boundary line. Tugs it around the corner and misses narrowly. Margin 5 points.
Dennis, the Adelaide Crows lead this Wizard Cup competition so far for taking the ball from a kick-in to a shot on goal, and they've got the most in the comp, and they almost put it through for a big one again.
Just over a minute and a half left in this quarter. Coming up to the 26-minute mark on defensive 50, it's Leon Cameron. To the centre wing, Richardson got a bit of a nudge underneath the ball there. Good play.
Clever.
Stevens went back, gathered, and the kick was a good one. Just a good one. And Boat takes the mark. Left foot kick to centre half forward. All of the ball, McLeod. Back to Stenglein. Chipping it forward, just the 15. Here's a chance now. As running onto the ball is good one. Left foot kick to the goal square is offline. And through for a point and Goodwin. Normally does a lot better with his kicking. That one was one that should have been buried, Gary.
Yes, you got to take your chances, Eddie. No question about that. He's a talented player and all Australian, so it's one of the reasons why they start so very well. They do convert. On that occasion, he would have been disappointed.
Intelligent hand pass to Sini Mwani's left side. All set up for him. Didn't finish. Cameron. This is Homewood on the ground now. Up from the back pocket. Decides to play on. Draws a man. Tawney. Improving player goes for distance around the outer side. Richardson surely held by Stevens. Took the mark in any case. Clock running down to quarter time. He's about 75 metres from goal. Interesting kick, rather nondescript. Intended for Ottens. Camped in front. Houlihan deep in the pocket. Pulled it right across the face. Takes a Tiger turn and goes across the boundary line. Not a bad result for them, having missed the shot at goal. So a toss in, close in. Gary Ayres.
Richardson and Bowden both had plenty of the footy. When they get plenty of the ball, you know Richmond are going to travel okay.
7 seconds till quarter time, so they need a clean possession here. Well, in fact, it was a quick 7 seconds.
7 second delay, Dennis.
The information doesn't quite carry as quickly. So it's quarter time, and it's Richmond 3-3, Adelaide 2-5. Entertaining opening term in this first semi-final of the Wizard Cup.
Well, you take that if you're Richmond, Dermot. As I said through the course of that quarter last year, they were the second best starting team in the competition, the Adelaide Crows. So to take a 4-point lead in from a Richmond point of view would be a win.
Yeah, that's great news. And the worst news for Adelaide is that they're probably the second worst team in the comp in the second quarter, guys.
That's exactly right. You've done your homework, son.
Brad Ottens has kicked 2 goals for the Tigers and Wayne Campbell the other goal. And for the Adelaide Crows, Daniel Schell's been good up forward. He's kicked 2 goals too so far. It's the Tigers leading by 4 points. Quarter time.
Did you do the banking?
Yeah, doing it now, Dad.
This news break is brought to you by Bank SA Business Banking Online.
Good evening. As many as 160 detainees at the Woomera Detention Centre are on a hunger strike in the latest round of protests at the centre. 8 people have been treated for dehydration. Iraqis are involved in the dispute. They're unhappy at the time it's taking for their visa applications to be processed. And for the first time in 16 years, Australia is through to the final of Hockey's World Cup. Australia beat defending champions, the Netherlands, 4-1 to set up a grand final showdown with Germany. I'll have more news in an hour.
In this situation, who would you believe?
Carl said 1 dead body. Caught him red-handed.
I'm not a bad person.
What are you?
Tuesday.
If you know so much about these murders, what do you need me for?
Murderers? There are more bodies.
There's something this suspect is hiding.
Well, I don't have to talk.
He wouldn't do this.
The evidence doesn't get any better than this.
Something the crime scene hasn't revealed.
Best you can hope for is life without parole.
America's #1 drama will surprise you. CSI, 8:30 Tuesday on 9.
I was actually on the first plane that went in. You know, to go into another country that's been ravaged by war and devastation, it was definitely a life-changing experience. I had a team of 30 soldiers. Basically, it was my job to take control, make sure that the soldiers and the locals were safe. Undoubtedly, all my officer training really came to the forefront. You know, I didn't really think about it at the time, but it was a pretty full-on job for a 23-year-old.
Introducing the Quick Pulsar sale. If you want the quicker, more powerful 1.8 litre Pulsar, you can now get $1,200 off. That's right, $1,200 off 1.8 litre sedans and hatches. And like all Pulsars, air conditioning is standard. Of course, you can still get the 1.6 litre Pulsar with air for just $19,990. The Quick Pulsar sale won't last forever, so guess what? You'd better be quick.
They're looking at your general leadership, communication skills, tactical exercises, public speaking. There's a whole range that they focus on. There's times when it's daunting, but in the end, it's a fantastic feeling.
Footy fans, if you have the passion, we have the power. The power needs you to cheer them to victory in 2002, and the smartest way to do it is with a season ticket. Prices start at $110 for adults and $39 for children for 11 home games, including Showdown 12. For all inquiries and to get the best deal for you and your family, ring the Power Hotline now on 8447 9900. Don't waste your passion. See the game live. Ring 8447 9900 now.
Cascade Premium Light. Pure premium taste.
Connery and Zeta Jones, Entrapment premieres Sunday on 9.
The Wizard Home Loans Cup, brought to you by Holden and Mitre 10.
Welcome back to Colonial Stadium. It's quarter time in the semi-final of the Wizard Home Loans Cup, and it's the Tigers by 4 points, 3-3, 21 to 2-5, 17, the Adelaide Crows. Ottens has kicked 2 straight, Campbell's kicked 1 for the Tigers, and Daniel Schell has kicked 2 goals too. Let's go down to Tony Jones on the boundary line with Dr. Peter Larkins.
Thanks very much, Eddie. Well, Gary Ayres absolutely demanding that his players go right at the Tigers in this quarter, put them right under pressure. Danny Frawley appeared to have stern words to Matthew Richardson, not surprisingly, about the misdirected kick from here on the wing out to the middle. Doc Larkins?
Yeah, certainly Richmond using the bench a lot more tonight, Ed, with their midfielders, particularly Campbell and Knights, getting a bit of a longer quarter time break by coming off early. There's certainly Adelaide not using the bench as much just yet.
One of the problems, Dermot, Adelaide go inside 50 as much as any other side, but can't convert. And to that point, they've taken Benke off, only didn't have a touch at all, and Scotty Welsh has come on.
But the Tigers lead by 4 points. Start of the second term, the first semi-final of the Wizard Cup. Winner goes on and plays the winner of Port and Sydney. There's the bounce. Hangs a long time in the air. Clark flicks it down. Campbell immediately ran into a dead end.
Well, that looks to be the vestige of Gary Ayres' quarter-time sermon. Wayne Campbell grabs the ball, and less than a second it takes for 2 Adelaide Crows midfielders to wrap him up in a tackle.
Now they throw it up. Ottens reaches over the top. Bode had it, lost it. King hurriedly down towards half-forward. Pracker leads in the race. Closing is Beckley, controlled it pretty well, had the misfortune to stumble, quick hands away, very quick. McLeod, the high ball towards the wing, Bowden from behind. No contest. Joel Bowden averaging 22 possessions a game in the Wizard Cup, twisting, turning, past Bode, kicks down towards half forward, hasn't got the carry, couldn't get to Fiora. That's a push in the back against Burton. Almost completed the mark, goes off his step hurriedly. Goodwin centered his face, kicks inside the 50. Vardy, fingertips to it, didn't hang on. Shell deep in the pocket, over the shoulder. Chance for Hall, 3-on-2. They'll need the ball. Welsh, great tackle. Forces the error, gets the free, despite being in the minority down there.
Exactly what you want.
Runs around, opens the angle, pulls it back, kicks the goal. Adelaide lead.
Well, he invents goals pretty well. And Scotty Welsh, and immediate results there. Gets on the end of that. And look, Big Ray Hall has been tried out at fullback against the bigger full forwards in this Wizard Cup competition. But here you see the agility of a ruckman playing under the pressure of a fullback close to goals. Just didn't have the awareness here. The opponent was around him. A little bit slow getting rid of the ball as well, and Scotty Welsh reaps the benefits.
Kai Zantuck did a terrific job on Benke. It was an unusual choice, I thought, but spot on as it turns out. Didn't touch it, Benke. He's had one kicked on him in the first couple of minutes, so as a young defender who's had a good first quarter, he realises now it's a whole new ball game, different opponent.
Scott Welsh, a premiership player with the Kangaroos in '99, puts the Crows in front by 2 points. Back in the centre. Up goes Ottens. He got the tap. No centre break, though. Play on no 15. You can hear the umpire screaming out in the background. Callaway dives in and, as usual, gets up at the bottom of the pack.
Look at that pack when the camera pulls away, Ed. It is a monster pack of players as we look at the Adelaide bench. Have a look at that on ball. It's just strangling it.
Clark tries to snatch it out of the air. Tivendale tried to get the kick out. Ball smothered, wrapped up. Umpires will get RSI throwing it up. This time it's Darren Goldspink on centre wing.
That must be the way they train, Derm.
Yeah.
And they're #1 in clearances from ball-ups last year. They must thrive on this sort of pressure.
Johnson in there and got the free kick.
Another one.
Sugar, let him go. Let him up, son.
Kane Johnson opposing Tivendale in the first quarter.
Prosciutto, look at that for his body strength. Twisting and turning, kicks it inside 50. Chance now for Shell, overran the ball. Picking up for the Tigers is Fiora. It comes out to Campbell. Good play. Cameron lays it off to Knights over the top, finding some space. Now they might run into trouble. Bowden, though, was good enough to hit the target, and it was Andrew Cracker.
Crows leader by 2. Cracker. Tivendale averaged 15 possessions a game last season, up from 12 in 2000. There's Cameron, kicks inside the 50. Wonderful finisher. Richardson pulls it back towards the middle. Element of danger in that. Houlihan's got it.
Gee, looks dangerous tonight, Matthew Richardson. He's against a bloke who was a seriously good footballer in Mark Stevens, but Richmond are bringing the ball in pretty cleanly. Just edging it forward, and then they get on a burst from the centre line, and he's pushed from the back pocket there, Leon Cameron. 10 disposals to Richardson. 5 of them have come from marks.
They led by 4 points at quarter time. This to restore that margin. Houlihan from 45. His job is to kick goals. But his job right there.
Welcome to the Mitre 10 Power by Final. First up, the Aladdin Adventure of Vacuum Flask. Gibbo.
Look, Daryl, it comes with 4 mugs at $54.95. Hard to beat.
Let's go to the judges. 10 out of 10. Look at the Project Air Compressor. Gibbo.
Love this one at $1.99.
10 out of 10 by Tingo. Here comes the ProPert electronic bathroom scales.
A winner at $39.95.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 power buys on now.
It's Power Buys at Mitre 10.
Welcome back to the semi-final of the Wizard Home Loans Cup, and Joel Bowden with 11 disposals is key off the half-back flank in setting up that last goal for the Tigers to give them a 4-point lead. Tawney tries to get the kick out. It is hard as you like in there at the moment. Wrapped up, will have another bounce.
I reckon if you're a midfielder and you come up against the Adelaide Crows, you don't come off the ground not bruised. They just pound into the opposition, and have a look at the pack around it again.
It's like the twister mat at Sam Newman's parties, isn't it? Up goes Ottens. Gets the tap. Knights thrown to the ground. We'll have another one. See what you can do with it. Dennis, can you get a centre clearance for us here?
Okay. Hawke, no responsibility. Tossed up alongside the centre circle. Ottens directs it down. Burton fell over, got to his feet. Gave it to support Goodwin. Missed the target. Knights wants to go back. Not advised here. Well, he's been taken high. He's going to get a free kick. Bit lucky. Not the time to put on the brakes. Matthew Knights. Kicks down towards half-forward. Terrible looking kick. Kellaway kept his eye on the ball. He was hugged by Smart. And Kellaway will get the free kick.
A little bit stiff there, Dennis. He actually got a fist onto it, so he saw the incoming.
Kellaway pushing up the ground. Kicks inside the 50. Ottens flies. Fingertips to it. Houlihan cleverly. Zilla right on the 50. Sets it up. High ball. Rogers going back with Hart. Hart knocked it away. Downey applied a very strong tackle there on Bowden. Hart heads for the boundary. Throw it in, says the umpire. And the crowd not very happy with that decision.
They get right into it, the Tiger fans.
Great to see them back in force. This could be a season of much promise. Campbell trying to stretch and soccer it forward. Prosciutto. Bickley goes down. Drop kick if you don't mind. Bowden out of the congestion behind.
I tell you what, Joel Bowden, I've been watching him, Dermot, for the first quarter and a half. He's playing on Michael Doughty, and has not got within 30 metres of him, the youngster. Bowden is racking up touches at 11 at the moment. He's just got to tighten up.
That was the man on screen, Joel Bowden from Alice Springs. Son of Michael, of course, premiership star with the Tigers.
Have a look at the way they've all shuffled to the right there, Ed. And Adelaide go to the right with their kick-ins quite predictably on most occasions.
I think it's over 51%, Doom, from last year's stats. So, throw in. Bowden again in the action. It was good play. Got a fingertip on it. Forced the throw in. It's still in the forward 50 for the Tigers. Rashudo heads for the boundary line. That's a close thing. I tell you what, the Tiger fans are getting angrier by the minute. The Crows are saying, what are you talking about? It was a throw in. Right on the forward 50 for the Tigers. Pressure mounting. They lead by 5 points. Here's Knights. He's grabbed high. Play on, says the umpire, though. It comes out to Bickley. 2 former captains. Bickley this time a high up and under to the centre wing position. Tigers have the mark. Beautiful mark taken there by Fiora. Former Port Magpie player. He gets it over to another South Australian in Rogers. To the forward line it goes. Up goes Richo. One of the free kicks out of the players. Here's Cracker! Kicks the goal!
Limonaro is back. Game over.
You can't coach what Cracker just did. 5-4, 3-5. Second term in the semi-final.
Most dangerous part of the match for Adelaide here right now.
Clark has generally done well. Favoured by the bounce. Directs it down. Wide of the mark initially. Bode taken high. No advantage. It'll come back to him.
They give a lot of free kicks high, Richmond. They sometimes can be undisciplined when they go about their tackling.
Matthew Bode inside the centre square. 34 plays 23. Into Mines. Not a particularly good kick. In fact, a bad kick. It goes to Tawney.
It was a shame because Daniel Schell had done Royce Vardy, who's been moved back. Oh, sorry, it was Ray Hall still. Had done him by about 10 metres on a lead.
Missed the target. It was intended for Campbell. Here's Edwards. Kicks inside the 50. Schell up in front. Neither he nor Vardy touched the ball. Look at McLeod accelerate. Nowhere to go, though. Cameron played it very nicely. Corralled him. Took him down. Boundary throw at about 40 metres around from the behind post as we go down to Danny Jones.
Keep an eye on number 35 for Adelaide, Rhett Biglands. He's just come on the ground and gone straight to Matthew Richardson, sticking with him like glue.
They'll throw in a chance for the Adelaide Crows. Tivendale over the top. Edwards for Adelaide now, trying to break clear. Grab, play on. Good decision by the umpire. Comes to Rashudo. Around the body to the goal square. Wrestling. Listen for the umpire. He says, Joel Bowden, it's yours. High up and under to Zantuck, who maybe should have gone to the ball, but he gets a lucky bounce. Handball's out in front of Rogers. Running to centre wing. Brings it in with the left foot. It was a beautiful kick to Hilton. Hilton looks up. He has players everyone. Houlihan is one of them. Into the open goal. Tigers to go 3 in a row. Takes his time and then muffs it up from point blank range. Had too long to think about it, Dermot.
Absolutely. He just pulled the kick and you saw him slow up and stagger then, Gaz.
Yeah, he did have too long, but what about the build-up? I mean, that was probably copybook the way Richmond want to play. Bring it in the middle, open up another side of the ground. There was 2 or 3 players there waiting for it. This bloke was one of them, and that is the reaction. Dig a hole.
Schell was up. Dangerous thing when players think. Biglands, Johnson, hand passes towards the wing. Knights was in there. Ricochets across to Campbell. Look out. Houlihan in trouble. Quick hands away. Tivendale kicks inside the 50. Had 2 men on deeper, but Clark is in the road. He's played pretty well tonight.
And they've dried up in the midfield now, Adelaide. They're not finding as much of it. McLeod's pushed off the ball. Goodwin's gone a bit shy in there.
As Johnson deep in his own defensive area. 5-5 plays 3-5. They just over 12 minutes in the term. High ball towards the wing. Goodwin. Good mark. Stenglein in trouble. Well done, Tawney. Taken down by Stenglein. That ball's not coming out. Whistle. A throw up on the wing. He's in the building. He is in the building. He's got the support.
You got the night off from 7-Eleven tonight to be here, Dennis.
No, not a donut inside either. Beautiful stuff.
Crossed up down towards half forward for the Tigers. Johnson in the grasp, got the hand pass away. Edwards getting busy in this term. Rosciuto, 65 metres out, kicks for space. In front of Marsh down there. Knocked away, loose ball at the back, well played by Hawley, tracks it towards the boundary and content to take it out.
Just really struggling inside 50 Adelaide at the moment to find a marking target. They can't get any clear footy. There was a turnover in the middle of the ground a few minutes ago. Usually you can find a free man, but Richmond defenders are all over them.
Marsh got the tap, but it was Tivendale at the fall of the ball to Bowden again. Ty Zantuck. Handballs cleverly along the boundary line, disguised it enough for a throw in. Bowden has had 13 touches to the 13-minute mark of the second term. The Tigers by 12 points. And
the king.
Shot on the scoreboard is why you can hear the of Elvis. That's why you can hear the crowd go up. He's going through the movements from Las Vegas, not the latter years there, Dennis.
No.
The ball goes over the line out of bounds for a throw in on centre wing. Art there for the Crows. So plenty of colour, plenty of movement here tonight on semi-final evening at Colonial Stadium. It's the Tigers by 12 points with a throw in on centre wing. Clark now starting to get his hands on the ball to Bassett. A high up and under towards the centre half forward position. A push out. You heard the whistle. You saw the result.
There's space for the full forward line, Ed.
Burton has got it. He kicks to that space. Getting back though with courage. Oh, and he took the mark in the end too. Magnificent stuff there by the Tigers. Callaway was just good under pressure. And now Houlihan has the ball at half-back flank.
Richardson on the lead. Takes the mark.
She's been good.
A long way up the ground.
Marks inside 50 at the minute. Richmond 8, Adelaide 4. They can't find a target, the Crows. Richmond doing it nicely.
Sets it up. Ottens, will he get there in time? No. Going back, Stenglein with courage. Hart slips a hand pass away. Johnson, smart burst through. Centre half back. Chip towards half forward. Well read by Tawney. Got across. Sensed the danger. Kicks back inside the 50. Tigers 2-on-1. It's built too wide for them. Johnson tackled by Houlihan. And the umpire wants it 55 metres out from the Tigers' attacking goal.
Was that pure professionalism, if you've ever seen it, by Mark Bickley? That's how you go at a player who's going for a mark. The ball's coming from the same direction that you are. You can't turn your head around and look at it. You just assume where his hands are going and you put yours up and get hit in the back of the head by it.
I'll stop. Hurried kick by Burton towards the wing. Knights almost. Stenglein missed it. Held on a little too long. Knights will get the free kick. Knights immediately releases Tawney. Tawney checks. Comes out wide. Will it get to Rogers in time? Yes, it does. Breaks away. Bassett over committed. Rogers spears the pass into Joel Bowden. 35 metres out. Sharp angle, but it opens up for the left footer.
They're dangerous all over the ground, Richmond, at the moment. We saw Andrew Cracker, wasn't on screen, but stood on his own for about 30 metres. It just says that they are in the driver's seat. They are driving this bus. They've got all the initiative.
50. There was a grip on Houlihan.
Right. That helps the angle, doesn't it? Joel Bowden, as Ed said, getting a lot of the football tonight. 14 possessions. His season's high was 33 last season against Brisbane in round 3. He'll kick a goal here. Jabs it through. Tigers increase their lead.
Just once, I want these guys at Subway to talk to me about something besides food. Hey, Scott, you know that girl at the pet store? The redhead? You got something you want me to tell her?
Yeah, Subway has a delicious Subway seafood and crab sandwich and a tasty tuna sandwich. They're the best. Subway,
At Target, we've got a smashing deal. Because until Wednesday, we're taking 20% off stacks of our children's clothing sets. So, round up the kids and jump into Target.
Welcome back, and the Tigers kick away to a 3-goal lead at 6-5-41. Adelaide 3-5-23 with 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in his second term. And a 50-metre penalty allowing Joel Bowden one of the best on the ground to kick a goal for the Tigers. It was against Hart for a bit of a forearm to the head of Houlihan. We'll have a look at the replay at half-time. Edwards tried to get his hands on the ball, but it was Campbell, the captain of the Tigers, who kicks inside 50. Umpire's call. Richardson free kick, 45 metres out directly in front.
And Eddie, you can put that down to the way you set up your forward line before the ball is even bounced. If you can spread the defence and get your good players in a one-on-one position like that, opposition defenders panic, they start to claw you, hand over your shoulder.
You could hear the umpire as well under Gary Lyon there say you can't grab him around the neck. 12 disposals to Matthew Richardson, who has kicked only one behind for the night so far, from 45 directly in front. They make the difference, 4 goals. Richo comes in, kicks it with his shin and shanks it to the left. Well, gives himself a round of applause, but that's the only bloke in a Richmond jumper who's getting it, as Bassett goes over and gives him plenty.
Let's have a look at the Adelaide kick-in now, and as we said, 2 out of every 3 kick-ins goes out to the right.
Short was it 15? Oh, step it out, umpire. Well, is it 50?
Just barely the same length as the goal square.
Bassett, short. Johnson feeds it back towards the middle. Hart pushes up, goes for distance with this kick. High ball towards the outer side. Fiora hanging on there. Knocked it away. McLeod kicks inside the 50. Vardy shins it out wide. Rashudo onto the loose ball. Crows could do with a goal. This is Bode. Runs to 50. Sets it up. Shell, will he fly from behind? Can't get there. Zantuck knocks it across the line. Tigers looking good. Composed so far. Dominating this second term. They lead 42-24. We'll see the time remaining until halftime.
Adelaide finished off last season when they had Mark Stevens up forward. He's off the ground now. Richardson ran him ragged, and he might get a shot up there in the second half.
Good kick from Chivendale. Spot on to Hall. Playing the corridor and the Hall. There goes a long kick down towards half forward. Going back, Cracker, and the mark to stand.
Well, again, got out on his own.
Hilton.
They've got numbers everywhere, Dennis. Every time you look forward on a quick break, the Richmond forward line, particularly forward to centre, they've just been marking space. I'm not sure whether Adelaide are trying to be too offensive out of defence, but they just aren't paying enough respect to their Richmond forwards.
But what about that initial kick from Tivendale? Magnificent. Over 60 metres, spotted a man who didn't have to move.
2 steps, Dennis.
Amazing. Hilton should kick it now.
Thanks, Brett.
45 metres out, bends it back, goal. Crows have got some problems.
An outbreak of mad crow disease. You could only just roll towards me. Where's the wheel? I've got a feeling it's around your guts, Bill. This is the very bumper Barretto. Lay under that.
The one habit everybody loves. The Footy Show returns 9:30 Thursday on 9.
Welcome back. The Tigers have kicked the last 4 goals of the game through Houlihan, Cracker, Bowden and Hilton, and that's when they lead by 4 goals after maybe a soft marking decision going the way of Andrew Cracker. Back in the centre, understatement to say that the Crows need the next one. It's the Tigers out of the centre. Knights up towards Richardson, got a hand of the ball in there hard. Vardy's there as well. Have a look at him go, close to the boundary line, knocks it back in play. It's still there for Houlihan, who went off the ground. He's kicked it. No, it hasn't. It just gone across the space of goal and through for a point. I was about to launch.
Wound up there. Houlihan has got that ability, hasn't he? He just looks like one of those players that can make something happen out of nothing. I don't know whether he can play anywhere else. He's a forward, I think, first and foremost.
How do you rationalise that with that one running into an open goal?
Hard, isn't it? The coaches, that's what gives them grey hairs over the years. Here's McLeod. He needs to lift. He does on this occasion. To Johnson, who runs through the centre of the ground. A wobbly old kick. Very hard for the Crows forwards to do anything about it. And a fantastic defensive punch by Fiora. Over the line, out of bounds. Tigers are doing everything right. They lead by 25 points. We've played 22 minutes in the second term in the Wizard Home Loans Cup semi-final of 2002.
Watch it off the ball!
Just over 4 minutes till half-time. Boundary throw in. Marsh works in front, tries to go behind. Eventually, clean possession, hooks it down towards full forward. Vardy got a fist on it, knocks it towards the boundary. Hilton runs it out.
Second quarter marks, Richmond 18, Adelaide 7. We know the statistic, Richmond don't lose when they take more marks than the opposition, and it is heading that way again.
He is pensive. Work to do for his Crows. Tossed in, flying at the top, Kellaway did nicely to Hilton. Coming into this game, high ball towards the wing. Tawney, clever mark, plays on. Houlihan, what about Timmendale? Almost sold him into trouble. Somehow he got free. Timmendale goes through the centre square, kicks inside the 50. Richard came hard. Loose ball to Cracker. Open goal, goes in and gets it. Crows spread eagled everywhere.
And it's the way he's kicking him that would be exciting the Richmond fans. He seems to have realised just where the gravy train is, and the gravy train is a man called Matthew Richardson. If he doesn't mark it, he won't get outmarked. And I think the pennies dropped with Andrew Cracker, Derm.
Gutsy effort here by Bickley, and he was ready to be hooked. Danny Frawley was taking him off. He sprinted for the bench, and the runner said, "No, you better stay on with that."
Great position, wasn't it? Lured Bickley in, he stood his ground. Goal.
And Elvis is saying it's going to be Heartbreak Hotel for the Crows at the moment with 3.5 minutes left in the second term. The Tigers 8-7-55, Adelaide 3-6-24. Back in the centre, the Crows desperate to get it out of the centre. McLeod gets a left boot forward. Edwards almost took the mark, maybe took his eye off the ball at the last second. Zilla in hard for the Tigers. In there goes Cameron as well. And we'll have a ball up. Well, it was Gary Ayres, boys, at quarter time who told the troops he wanted them to hit bodies and hit them hard. But it's the Tigers who've responded in this second term.
Lasted one goal for them. They came out breathing fire, but it only lasted 5 or 6 minutes.
Ottens knocked it down. McLeod has to get busy. Tyson Edwards dragged off it. Rashudo congested. Hooks towards goal. Wanders down towards the pocket. Runs away from Zantuck and goes out of bounds. Boundary throw in, and the Tiger faithful loving this second term. They really have served it up for the Adelaide Crows. 55 plays 24.
Mark Dragicevic in the box then too, Dennis, with Danny Frawley, so you'd imagine that he would have been a source of inspiration before the game.
Tossed in, Marsh hooks it down behind. Rashudo, sharp angle, pulls it back, floats across the face. Shell dropped the mark. Vardy claims him, picked up by Marsh, throws it on the boot. Good-looking effort. Great goal.
Ever seen a 6'7" Crummer, Dermot?
Crummer, he did well too. You know what? If you see the replay, he gathers it, and because he's not a natural low-to-the-ground player, he expects contact. He braces himself for it, and then he realises, hey, I've got a clear shot on goal here. Watch him. He picks it up and thinks, where's the tackler? I'm about to get done. Watch him just look around here. And he just puts it on in one of his tentacles, and through it goes.
Good fortune more than good management,
Yeah.
I'd imagine, when you've got a 6'6", 6'7" fellow who ends up crumbing a goal for you, but you got to do it in the air and on the ground.
The Richmond game they're playing at the moment is physically taxing. A lot of hard running. Danny Frawley's going to have to manage the bench after half-time because Adelaide might come, well, pretty well will come home strong with running.
Hilton off and Pettifer on as they start to swing the changes in the last couple of minutes of this quarter. We'll have another ball up. Hard ball gets. The Tigers doing all the tough things. 18 to Adelaide's 12. Tackles 26-21. Also in favour of the Tigers. And again, it was Shell who was involved. A nice shepherd there to allow Marsh to kick the goal. Out of the centre. Well, the Crows, if they can get one right now, they'll be right back in the game, believe it or not, after the Tigers have dominated. It's got Kane Johnson now. He's 55 out. He kicks to the hot spot in front of the goals. It's punched away. But it's going to come right the way back. As Elvis would say, return to sender. In goes Rashudo to the goal square. Burton has got it. No, he hasn't. Off the ground. It's a goal. Whoosh!
They're in it.
They're back in it. 2 goals to Welsh. Well, there you go, boys. Back to 19 points.
Well, and if Richmond had done their homework, which you imagine they would have realised that last year Adelaide scored. They were the 3rd highest team in terms of scoring in time on, Dermot. So it's at the end of this quarter that they're pushed on, and again, it's come through. So from that point of view, the stats can tell the story for you, but they're working beautifully here.
And it's easy to see why. The 3 blokes have got hands on in that passage of play. Rashudo, Goodwin, and McLeod out of the centre before the goal was kicked. They're the dangers here still.
I've got to say, I think Scott Welsh is undervalued by the Crows too. There's the bounce back in the middle. He's got 2 goals. Ottens, tackled by McLeod, spills to King. High ball, floats down towards half forward. Adelaide need to hold here. Spills, down goes Kellaway. Tried to knock it goalward, is claimed. We'll have a throw up just outside the attacking 50 for the Tigers, who lead 8-7 to 5-6.
Well, it'd be nice to be in Richmond's spot here, guys. But Adelaide have done well to be only 3 goals down, or roughly 3 goals down, and playing as poorly as they have for the most of this game.
Amazing ruck work these days. Johnson is going to get a free kick, is he?
He was itching to get one.
You can have 50 as well.
Oh, did he ever want to get one?
Got that.
Day 2.
Some relish in Darren Goldsping's voice there too. You can have 50 as well.
Enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, whoa.
Threatening.
Tawny, meantime, like a soccer goalkeeper, defending the top right-hand corner of the net. Diving away, got a fist on it, angled it out of bounds, so a throw in.
Is that threatening behaviour from the umpire?
Got no problem with that, because footballers understand that rather than just the clinical science of, yes, it's a free kick, blow the whistle or not. If the umpire talks to them in their language, they understand it better.
Pragmatic, isn't it? Tossed in, one down by Marsh. Bow dives on top of it, confronted by Tivendale. So inside the last minute of the first half, chance for the Crows here to get a late goal and pull the margin back to, if they do, 13 points. Still, a bit of work to be done. Hall and Marsh, spills behind. Johnson to Smart, down towards full forward. What a body work, offhand Houlihan. Taken down there by Bassett, and Bassett has kicked the goal. Down with him, crystal ball.
Nathan Bassett wandered down from fullback. He's the old demon he is, and continues on the trend of
Piling on goals late in the game. I think Gary Ayres would be very well pleased, but
would he?
I tell you, he'd be filthy. Danny Frawley, they had this game almost by the scruff of the neck only 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Well, boys, what was that stat about goals in time on for the Adelaide Crows?
Well, off the top of my head, they were the 3rd highest team in the competition in terms of scoring in time on. 38% of their scoring time on.
Well, their goals, their last 3 have come at the 25-minute mark, the 26 and 50 seconds, and the 29-20 with 27 seconds left on the clock. And we're back to a 13-point ball game, and the fight is on for a finals berth in the Wizard Home Loans Cup. Up goes Ottens. Didn't get a tap. Rashudo says, I want the ball. I'm going to lead from the front. Gets it out to Smart. Smart to Johnson. The old firm is starting to stand up now for the Crows. Johnson round the corner. Edwards should have trapped it. Was pushed off the ball by Zilla. Opens the door for Tivendale. On the left foot, as always, hits the chest of Rogers at centre half back.
Rogers, dying seconds of the first half, kicks it down towards half forward. And there's the siren. Wow, topsy-turvy that one.
Not smiling now, Danny.
No.
In short, Ed, Adelaide kicked 1/3 of their score for the entire season last year in time on of each game.
Well, the Tigers, 8-7-55. Welsh got the first goal of the quarter for Adelaide to make the difference 2 points as the Crows hit the front for the first time. And after that, it was goal, 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 goal to the Tigers. They kicked the next 5 to get out to a 31-point lead. But 3 late goals in time on has meant that the Adelaide Crows have really come back at the Tigers, and it's 13 points the difference. We'll take a break. Sam Newman's going to have a look at the goal umpires over the generations. Dermot and Gary right after this. This is AFL on 9.
Danny faces shocking news about her pregnancy, and with Peter deep undercover, she faces the hardest decision of her life alone. Stingers, 9:30 Tuesday on 9.
Weather update, brought to you by the new dishwasher powder from Morning Fresh.
Rather cool night tomorrow, fine, sunny and warm. In terms of temperatures, 13 overnight, top tomorrow, 27 degrees. Sunday will be hot, not excessively, but 33 degrees, changing on Sunday night. Monday cooler, and Tuesday cool, but mainly...
New Morning Fresh Super Strength Dishwasher Powder. With 25% more washes per kilo than the leading brand, every wash is economical.
And
Until Friday at Kmart, you can get this PlayStation 2 console for just $494.
And a remote control, this DVD and this CD for only $14 more. Kmart is the home of low prices.
Clipsal 500 improves general admission with more viewing platforms, giant Clipsal vision screens and concerts Saturday and Sunday. Book at Bass on 131246.
The Titanic. Recreate the magic of the world's most celebrated liner by constructing this amazing wooden model week by week. Build the Titanic Part 1 with step-by-step instructions, 2 magazines and model sections. On sale now, only $5.95.
That makes Viking the chocolate bar with horns.
The Monaro Man of the Match. Win a Monaro Hot Lap with V8 supercar drivers in an all-new Holden Monaro. After this game, call to register the player that you believe will be voted the Monaro Man of the Match by the commentary team and then say, Monaro Game Over. Or SMS your selection on this number and remember to add Monaro Game Over. Watch the next game and the Monaro Man of the Match will be revealed along with the lucky home viewer. There's one winner every game. The Monaro Man of the Match.
Wednesday on Survivor, it's time to toughen up.
It's an effort just to put your shoes on. We're only eating every second day.
With little food, extreme weather and another injury.
The best I can do right now is walk.
How would you cope?
Don't even have the energy to think, and I just need to sit down and rest. Can't make decisions, just too tired.
It's enough to make a grown man cry. Hey, it's not called Survivor for nothing.
I didn't come out here to play tiddlywinks.
This game is just getting started. Australian Survivor, 8:30 Wednesday on 9.
The Wizard Home Loans Cup, brought to you by Holden and the Air Force.
Welcome back to Colonial Stadium, semi-final action, half-time here. Late goals to the Crows brought them back into it. 8-7-55 the Tigers. Adelaide 6-6-42. A bit of cracker magic alive and well, Dermot, here at Colonial Stadium.
Yeah, he found himself on the end of a couple, Gary, and reaped the benefits there. Let's have a look at the goal kickers. Andy Cracker, as he mentioned, the major contributor with Brad Ottens, 2 apiece, and for Adelaide, Shell's picked up 2. He's been impressive up forward. Hasn't had much of a hand except for Scotty Welsh, who came on in the second quarter, and he picked up 2 goals straight away.
It's a bit of structure, wasn't it? Once Welsh went forward, here's the Tigers at half-time, just sitting down, regrouping. They would have been disappointed with that last 5 or 6 minutes. I'm sure Danny Frawley would have alerted them to that fact, but they'll regroup and probably come at a good time half-time. Joel Bowden's been a star in the first half.
Absolutely. He's playing against a young fella, Michael Doherty, from South Adelaide, and he hasn't been able to get near him. See, not even in shot here. Joel Bowden's 188 centimetres, and young Doherty there behind him listed at 177. So he's giving away height, and it doesn't look to be as if he's covering the ground. There's the height difference there in the goal square. Doesn't look, and he has to cling on for dear life here, and infringes. He thinks, I should get the free kick. I was in front.
Yeah, he's been a star. He's covered lots of ground. He's been forward and back.
Strength difference there too, Gary. He just got rid of his opponent. Great isolation shot of the 2 there. Just the body strength to push him up. Almost a key position-sized player. Once again, that's been Nelson trying to man him up there from the goal square.
He's a handful, there's no doubt about that. Leon Cameron, they've been well structured right from the word go, Richmond, and there's just a highlight here of Leon Cameron, how much it takes to think through different situations. There he is. Richmond want to come inside from the boundary line at every opportunity. Leon Cameron says, I've got to get out of there. I've got to create some space. So he pushes down the wing, and all of a sudden a nice little hole opens up for Richmond. The benefit here is that Cameron runs on down the wing. There's the hole, 3 Richmond players there. Cameron started to take an Adelaide Crow opponent with him. Richmond win possession of the footy in the middle of the ground, and Leon Cameron, he becomes the target, runs on down the ground. It's just a little bit of unrewarded running. I reckon Danny Frawley would have been pretty happy with that and been well pleased.
Have you seen Brad Otten's game?
Oh, look, I love watching Brad Ottens play. He becomes such a handful for the opposition. Matthew Clark outclass his opponent. He pushed forward at every occasion and he makes good decisions. Right now, Brad Ottens is thinking, I'm not going to mark here. I've got two opponents, one in front, one behind. I know my Crummers rely on me to be able to get my hand on the footy. There's the two Adelaide Crows players. There's the Crummers for Richmond. Brad Ottens makes an excellent decision here. Doesn't try and mark Dermott. At this position, he's probably still thinking maybe I'm a chance. Right at the last minute, watch his right hand here. Just happy to contest the ball in the air, drop it there. That's where he knows the Crummers are going to be, and that's a quality drop of ball. There's Houlihan, a small Crummer. There's Cracker, another small Crummer heading to the same position. That's just good footy from a Richmond point of view.
It's done pretty well. Good team play there. Well, talking about team play, Adelaide Crows, they look to be gone for the game. But as you made mention, they're a very, very good time on team. They've kicked 30% of their full seasonal goals last year in time on, and tonight in the second quarter, down by about 6 goals, they've pulled back 3 in time on. Brett Burton probably should have flown there. Scotty Welsh, he's been a little bit of a get-about up there. He's a mixed bag up there, and the most unlikely final goal kicker for the quarter, one of your old mates, Nathan Bassett.
They're back in it, no question about it. Interesting statistics here. Pretty even over the ground, although Richmond have had a lot more uncontested possessions, but the marks is a big one, too.
Well, Richmond win every game they outmark the opposition, and they'd be very happy with that centre break statistic too, 5 to 6, because Adelaide should be pulverising them in there. So that's a good result for them. We look at the Richmond rooms now. They are playing a taxing game. They're using up a lot of run, so Danny Frawley will need to manipulate his bench pretty well. And there's the Adelaide room. Maybe Mark Stevens, who was tailed up by Matty Richardson. They played great footy late last year when he went forward. He's on the bench now. Perhaps he could go forward and clunk a few marks for them in the second half.
13 points the difference here at Colonial Stadium. We'll be back. We will be back with the big man himself, Sam Newman. Have a look at the goal umpires right here at Colonial. Semi-final action on Nine's Wide World of Sport.
So that's cocaine, sir. You were selling from the lemonade.
Caught red-handed.
They can have that there for $100.
Drugs by chauffeur delivery.
It's pure MDMA.
We expose a blatant racket.
I've got pure speed. It's the best, I promise you.
Plus, our fresh water turned to this. They said it couldn't happen, but here's the proof.
The water was straight off the roof. There's nothing in between.
And meet the world's greatest freeloader.
Yeah, I always wanted to travel the world.
When Nissan presents A Current Affair. AXA presents 9 News Stock Market Report. AXA, investments, insurance and superannuation.
The week-long rally came to an end today. The market let down by some of yesterday's main winners. The All Ords lost nearly 12 points, but still finished up 78 over the week. Retreats by the banks, News Corp and Telstra did most of the damage. On the plus side, BRL Hardy led the alcohol sector higher, rising 38 cents as the market swallowed yesterday's profit. And a better-than-expected result lifted Goodman Fielder 6 cents.
Hi.
I'm the electrician.
Sure, come in. It's just through the hall to the left.
All right.
Why stick to a home loan with a 25-year term when with a Latitude home loan, you can own your home in just 8 short years?
The Accent Run-Out is on now. Australia's most popular small car is going fast. Great deals across the entire Accent range. Starting from only $14,990, drive away. Hurry, the Hyundai Accent Run-Out is running out fast.
Footy fans, if you have the passion, we have the power. The power needs you to cheer them to victory in 2002, and the smartest way to do it is with a season ticket. Prices start at $110 for adults and $39 for children for 11 home games, including Showdown 12. For all inquiries and to get the best deal for you and your family, ring the Power Hotline now on 8447 9900. Don't waste your passion. See the game live. Ring 8447 9900 now.
Yeah, it was a good job. You know, she's a very nice lady. Gave me a cup of tea. But I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow, though. It's a pretty big job.
Love him or hate him, when he's got a point, you can be sure he'll make you listen.
And this part of the game is stuck, but I'm blaming those nincompoops in charge of umpires.
The Call with sports guru KG, Monday on Adelaide's National Eye News at 6.
Welcome back. We're live inside the Tigers' rooms, and as you can see, they've had their cooling down period. They've had some drinks, and now they're going in to hear Danny Frawley. He'll be angry that they conceded 3 goals in time on and now lead by just 13 points in this semi-final of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. Crackers kick 2, Ottens 2, the major goal kickers for the Tigers, and for Adelaide it's Shell and Welsh, both with 2 goals. As always at half-time in this game of football, Sam Newman joins us with Sam Say. And
how are you?
Good on you, Sam.
No, Katrina in wardrobe insists this is my jacket, so I'm going to wear it all year. Have you ever seen a more ill-fitting jacket than this?
There's a bit of room there.
There's a bit of room there, isn't there? So I don't know what you had in mind. Anyhow, well, that'll get me a belting when I get in on Monday.
No doubt about that. Now, before we go on about the attire tonight, ABC America last week had a feature story about the life and times of Down Under, Melbourne, Australia, and a game they call Aussie Rules, in particular the umpires. Here's what America thinks of our great game and us as people.
Tonight, the road to anywhere takes Mike and the rest of us to Melbourne, Australia, for one very wild game.
This is football. A different kind of football. A bunch of guys in shorts with no shoulder pads or helmets plowing downfield, hopefully without losing the football or an eyeball. In Australian rules football, or footy as they call it here, you score by kicking the ball into the end zone. The referees look like ice cream salesmen trying to direct traffic.
Well, Ed, it wasn't always like this. I managed to root out some vision.
What's that? The referees looking like ice cream salesmen?
The goal umpires were not always like this, and I've managed to root out some vision of them perfecting their craft during the 60s through to their thespian-like extravagance of today. Now, have a look at this. This is how it's evolved over the years. Now, this is nice, cool, clean, clinical decisions. No theatrics. No, just nice and casual. Don't get excited about it.
Very nonchalant.
Nonchalant, and then it's just gradually progressed. Perhaps no, not even more animated there. Now they're starting a bit more hype, a bit more preening. They've moved with the times until the full-on gala command performance of them today.
Well, here's today's umpire. Let's see how he goes.
Look at that.
Not
just
this one,
beautiful,
obviously.
and you know when they...
Good flag work here.
And beautiful, and the cheeks of the derriere that tight you couldn't drive a knitting needle anywhere, Ed.
Well, we better have a look at tonight's action just to see if we've got one here.
This is extravagance of... here he is. Now, this is a man just perfecting his talent. There it is. And the blokes in the 60s just bleed. Wish they'd done that in their hair. He is. Back he goes. Comes in now. It's frightening stuff, and of course, but they've never been strongmen, whether in a different era or today's era. And you can see if they're confronted by the gladiators that play this game, this is what happens. Now, this was, here he is.
Oh, there he goes.
Down, 1956, I think
66, Grandpa.
66, pardon me.
Yeah, well, so he probably robbed Collingwood of that premiership.
Yep, there he is. He's got the staggers. And this is Sav Rocker running into an unfortunate man. And down he goes there. See, now, drugs in sport's been a very big part of football this week, but obviously the goal umpire's not on steroids anyhow. Maybe on some of the other drugs, perhaps, if they're carrying on like that. But, and here it is, the dribble, just testing for the solo, Ed. There it goes. And what you didn't see on that was the parfum de toilette, when the spray puffer came out and they put the cloth over them. So
bit of a facial at half-time.
It's all part of a grand plan, the sideshow that is the umpires and the goal umpires.
Yeah, but you know what? That American reporter said it all, Sam.
Yep.
It's all about the goal umpires. It's not about the players.
And don't they think they believe it?
More of this nonsense on Thursday night at 9:30. Don't forget the Footy Show back in action. We're on last night with the best of the Footy Show. Great ratings right throughout the country, so you've encouraged us. We're going to come back with more. It'll be Sam, Trevor, myself, 9:30 next Thursday night. Spider Everett will be on the panel, hopefully after he's had his operation tonight. Let's hope, for everybody's sake, that Spider Everett is okay. Plenty of summer action to get over, and of course we'll be previewing the Wizard Home Loans Cup Grand Final. At the moment, the Tigers are in front. We'll come back on the other side of the break and find out just who will be playing? The winner of Port Adelaide and Sydney will be the Tigers or the Crows. We'll find out right after this. It's AFL on 9.
Yes. So just tell him straight out the answer is yes. Yes. Yes.
This news break is brought to you by Bank SA Personal Easy Loans.
Yes.
Good evening. As many as 10 Australians arrested in China are apparently on their way home after being deported. Members of the Falun Gong religious group. They got into trouble during a protest in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. Some claim they've been beaten up by Chinese police. Back home, police are investigating a tragic accident at Norwood. An elderly man ran over and killed his wife while attempting to reverse out of his driveway. And 2 men will appear in court after an alleged assault on a police officer at Kensington. Good night. Enjoy the footy.
Saturday, glowing budgies, white German shepherds and some mischief.
Oh, hi, Scotty.
I'm getting a hug and a kiss if it kills me.
Burke's Backyard, 7 o'clock Saturday on 9.
Sue's many things, but lazy definitely isn't one of them. Sometimes I can get tired just looking at her, which can be a bit of a problem, because I still like looking at her.
Every day of your life, you never stop needing the unique combination of 10 essential nutrients found naturally in dairy. Dairy, the food of life.
The Red Army Choir and Dance Ensemble. This fantastic, sensational and thrilling Russian ensemble is an experience not to be missed. The internationally acclaimed Red Army Choir and Dance Ensemble.
Until Friday at Kmart, you can get this PlayStation 2 console for just $494.
And a remote control, this DVD and this CD for only $14 more. Kmart is the home of low prices.
Who's toughest, Aussie rules or rugby league? 5 bouts will decide. The McDonald's Fight for Life, Saturday on 9.
Elvis is just kicking back. He'll be getting the peanut butter roll in a few moments' time with a ham in it. Let's go down to ham of sorts as well, Tony Jones.
Yeah, thanks very much. Well, I can say very little to report from the rooms, but I can say that the Doc's going to go and sit with the King because he's been on more than him tonight.
He obviously got a bit more of a run than me, but just don't ask me to dance with him. Just, guys, nothing obvious during that second quarter, but Brian Benke sitting on the bench with his right thigh very heavily strapped. Looks like a bad corky, so not expecting Brian Benke back.
OK, then. Thanks very much, Doc. And Benke last week kicked 7 goals. Has not had a touch of the footy at all tonight so far. Dennis Cometti with the action in the third term.
Ottens knocks it down. Kellaway applies a tackle. Get him high, says the umpire.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark Bickley, last man to get up.
Happy to mix it up tonight, Richmond, aren't they? And take them on physically in the centre.
Ottens directs it down. Bickley again. Deja vu.
Gary Ayres has responded to a stellar first half from Joel Bowden. He's taken off his opponent Dowdy, and Ben Nelson, the former Carlton player, has got the job.
Fourth time lucky. Away we go once more. Ottens knocks it down. And again, this time Campbell got the footy.
Coaching
umpire, yeah, making his point.
It's not his decision to make, is it?
I'm seizing up here, he's saying. McLeod. Smart had it, lost it. Rashudo charges through. Trying to shrug a tackle. This is King under pressure. Hooks it down towards half forward. Hangs a long time in the air. Bigland's dropped the mark. Gets the staggers. Finds some space. Not a good kick. But straight to Smart as luck would have it. So Smart across half back. 55 plays 42. Spirited comeback late in the second term by the Crows. Edwards to Burton, juggles the mark. Forward of the wing. Bickley into space. He's about 65 metres out. Bickley loads up. It's a high ball. Welsh kept out of the contest. Fell in front. Marsh got his hands to it. Taken high down there. Surely a free kick to Cameron. And the umpire didn't see it. Cameron almost knocked out there. He's very concerned about his jaw and teeth as he gets up. And the umpire, showing no compassion, tosses it up immediately. Rashudo charged through, left the ball behind. Goodwin surrounded.
What's he got to do, Wayne? Leon Cameron.
I don't think he actually... Oh, that's the first one. That's there. But I don't think he really landed that last tackle all that hard. Well, 50-50.
Vardy was there for the Tigers. Ottens did it beautifully off his shoestrings. It was great stuff to Campbell. Crows have got the numbers, though. Edwards drives it inside 50. It was another one that slewed off the boot, but it's bowed into an open goal, and it's 4. I was going to say 4 in a row, but it's just bounced into the post. So Matthew Barrett has kicked 2 behinds for the evening. It's 6-7-43 the Crows. Tigers 8-7-55. It's a 2-goal ball game 3 minutes into the third term.
Well, Leon Cameron kicks about 70% of his kick-ins short and out to this near side, but there's hardly anybody out there. That's his safety kick if he can't pick somebody out up the middle.
Matthew Bode hit the fat bit as Cameron kicks in. Bode couldn't hang on, knocked away by Bowden, picked up by King, slips it away around the outer side. Hall heads for the boundary. To good effect. Does it stay in? Well, initially, Richard dropped it. Throw it in. It did cross the boundary. Thought so.
Big job for Rick Biglands. Has got the job now. Matthew Richardson went to him halfway through the second quarter. He'd question his running capacity, but he seems to be covering the ground okay.
Campbell and Stingline. Likely peering. Campbell got it on the boot. Rashudo, well done. Johnson has been very good. His 17th possession. McLeod down towards half-forward. Hall surrounded. Nicely done. Tawney. Fiora, little chip kick towards the middle. Knight lays it off. Cameron pushing up. Goes down towards half-forward. Beautiful kick. That is his trademark. Richardson's got it 55 metres out. Break him square. Ottens is dropping back. Richardson, well, an untidy kick to say the least. Ottens. It takes courage. He knew there were people back there. Full-chested, he went back and he found the footy.
Sorry, Dan, it helps to make your kick, it's an ordinary kick. It helps it when you've got an athlete like Brad Ottens who's able to get on the end of it. So Matthew Richardson, I think at the last minute, took his 7th mark and then thought halfway through the kick I'm going to try and barrel a torpedo here, and it was a mongrel. But if your forwards are awake, sometimes those mongrels turn out okay because they can get the drop on their opposition player, and that was the case. Ottens made something out of nothing.
Going at his 3rd right here. Currently Tigers up by 12 points. This for 18, and he steers it through.
Monaro is back. Game over.
Welcome back. Young Bode's miss where he hit the post might prove costly. An 11-point turnaround there, and the Tigers are back now to an 18-point lead. 9-7 plays 6-7. It's 3 goals the difference, and we've been going for 5.5 in the third term. Out of the centre, Bode makes amends. He gets it over to McLeod. 55 out, he chips to the pocket. Umpire's called it. Free kick to the Crows.
Well, the question you've got to ask is what else could Ray Hall do in this situation? It appeared to me, let's have a listen.
Marsh has got the free kick.
Honestly, the defender's got to be able to go after it. The Frees are even, 12 to Richmond, 11 to Adelaide, but that to me looked like a genuine contest between a fullback and a full forward.
Well, Marsh snapped one in the second term. Big goal coming up. Distance no problem. Slightly tighter than 45 degrees. Comes in, it's on its way. And he has missed, I think he has. It's a point. So a bit of poetic justice there, say the Tiger fans. 9-7-61, Adelaide 6-8-44. It's a 17-point ball game.
Tawney feeds it back towards the middle. Now they've got a problem. Zantuck, Chippendale, they're working hard here. Eventually it comes to McLeod. McLeod lines up. It's bending nicely. They force the error and they get the goal.
Well, that's the pressure that Adelaide had hoped to apply during the second quarter. And Richmond had some clean disposals there, but they've got clean hands on the ball, but weren't able to get the ball further afield through their own possession, just because the pure pressure that Adelaide applied, and it is their gun players that put it on there. And well, I thought McLeod would have dished off to Shell, who actually ends up standing in the goal square. See, he's in 10 metres of space there. They converge on him, create a bad handball. It goes out again. He gets clean hands on. He's under pressure. McLeod gets on it. Look at Shell. He'll be in the middle of the goal square here when it comes down. And ignored him.
Goodwin and McLeod changing across half forward, Dermot. I think it's really helped. They've put some forward line pressure on and also been able to create something.
McLeod's had 15 disposals. Hasn't been dominant tonight, but you just get a bit of a feel that he's about to explode. And here he goes again. He gets the handball out to Stingline. Further afield to Goodwin on his left foot. Long kick to the goal square. They've got it again, the Crows. And it's Shell who'll line up for his third goal from point-blank range.
If you just look at that incoming ball, Ed, that is an object lesson there that Shell never took his eye off the incoming ball, and Royce Vardy turned his back to it, worrying about his opponent. Sometimes you watch the ball to the foot, and then you watch the ball.
2 goals to Shell, both at this end in the first term. He comes in from point-blank range, and he puts it through. It's a 5-point ball game.
And there's the siren and another great result. They're on a roll. They are on fire. They're unbeatable at home and they're just as brilliant away. No one's even getting close.
Golden draft, thanks.
Conyers, beds, Chewed beds, $89.
Wrought iron queen size, $169.
Bulk bonus for only $89.
The Corners' hottest bed sale this year. Save a whopping 40%.
Andrew McLeod getting busy. One senses his pride has been pricked. Twice best and fairest. 3 times runner-up. A lot of the football to start this third term. Rucks go at it again. Clark beaten by Ottens. Rosciuto working hard in there. And the umpire having a lot of trouble clearing this centre.
Saw that shot down the middle of the ground there, Dennis. Only a 4-man forward line for Adelaide, and they're all right down the middle of the ground.
Ottens tries for clean possession, taken high. He was a bit lucky because he wanted the ball. Ottens, when I say he wanted the ball, he was looking to take clean possession. Here's Zilla, touched off the man standing the mark. Zilla's kicked down towards full forward, angled towards the boundary by Bassett. Houlihan hard against the line. Smart stifles the handball, and out it goes.
He is disciplined, Nathan Bassett, Gary. He punched then and he probably could have gone for the mark, but at least his support players will always know he'll put a fist to it.
He had to punch, he left his man, and if he had to come to it like close in, he was in a lot of trouble.
Richardson wrestling in the ruck. Third man up, thumps it. All the Crows out in the full against Stingline. Oh, hello.
Didn't call it, the umpire. It was too far in play.
Oh, gee, I tell you what, that was clearly out in the full, that one. So a let off for the Crows.
Good break.
Well, we've got a replay of that in a few seconds. Throw in, as you can see, close to the 50-metre arc, about 45 out from the Tigers' goal. Wrestling for the ball. Campbell gets the ball back over the line and out of bounds. We'll have another throw in. Let's have a look at the replay. Here we go.
Off the knee.
Well, I reckon it was under the knee, Derm, but anyway.
I thought the knee was still a kick.
Throw in. Guess what? Umpire lets it go a little bit. Let it go, hoping to get it out, and he does. Edwards gets it out. Edwards gets it a second time. Kicks it up towards Burton. Not holding his marks tonight. That one hit him right in the nose. Picked up by Fiora. Left foot kick. Have a look at this. He sets himself from behind and takes the mark. Richo's got it. He's 15 metres out. Slight angle.
This is the one that he hates.
Yeah, it is. He'd be nervous at the moment, but it was a beautiful kick into him. He's had a terrific night. 8th mark for the night. Aaron Fiora's done a terrific job on Brett Burton, and he's a wonderful kick with depth and penetration. From there, he's able to get it to the other side of the goal square. He would have seen that Richardson was behind his opponent. Terrific kick.
Richardson should kick it. Easier said than done for Richo. 20 metres out. Goal umpire goes a long way. Behind. Richo is celebrating.
Good call, Ed. Mike Williamson.
It was like bluff poker. The King takes his seat.
No goals, 3 for Richardson.
Bickley drives it up towards the wing. Well-weighted kick. Breaking hard is Goodwin. Against the line. Chips it down towards half forward. McLeod stretches. Takes the mark. Thought about going. Told to go by the umpire now. Concedes as a result. Fiora throws it on the boot. Out of bounds on the full. Both sides making mistakes.
Almost went the length of the ground on the kick-in again, Adelaide.
Cracker up. Dennis, cracker up and Poyas on.
Stengline out of bounds on the full. Tigers lead it by 6 points. Semi-final of the Wizard Cup. The winner goes on to play the winner of Port Adelaide and Sydney. That game scheduled for tomorrow night at Football Park. Cracker off the ground, as you heard. Just for the moment, both sides looking to get some clean football. Here's Knights in the back pocket.
We're all in one half of the ground too, Dennis. So down Richmond end, only 2 players at the moment. Oh.
Interesting kick. Pettifer touched it. That was about all. Welsh emerges with it. He's kicked 2. Comes back to Bickley. Spots Smart. How often have we seen that? Smart off his step. Goes in short, and Bassett, who kicked that goal just before half-time. A chance here to score from 40 metres out and level things up in the third term.
You've seen him, guys. Has he got a chance?
He's got one of the ugliest kicking styles I've ever seen, to be honest. But I haven't seen him up forward too often. He's had 7 touches, 3rd mark. He's one of those defenders that's running into their forward line.
6 career goals in the regular season in 65 games. Obviously, my voice carries. That was enough to sway him, and through it goes for a behind.
Big hook foot there. Just on that umpiring, how the umpire let that pack situation about 2 minutes ago develop, that'll really suit Adelaide because they're good in that area, and Richmond under pressure close in don't find the target.
Tivendale, beautiful kick to Vardy. Handball's inside. Bowden from inside 50. He almost kicks it to the 50 at the other end. It was a beautiful kick. Have a look at this. Ray Hall, the boy from Woy Woy, runs inside 50 from 49 metres out. Puts it through the centre. Great reply there. Bassett misses at one end. Ray Hall punishes at the other. And the Tigers lead by 11 points, 14 and a half minutes in third term.
Well, they were all in Adelaide's half, Dermot, and a fast break was always going to make Adelaide Crow defenders nervous. And when you can kick like Joel Bowden, it exposes the opposition. I mean, Bassett was there, that was fine. Hall's athletic enough, his kick was great, but Richardson was also running hard into space. So they had so many options going forward that the turnover cost them.
A good foot skills for a big bloke, isn't he?
On the run, I mean, that's not easy to do.
10-8, 8-9. Clear takeaways have been scarce. Both ruckmen very conscious of each other. Stengline a half chance at their feet. Knives on top of it again. Tivendale at the base of that pack.
Dennis, that's a very polite way of saying neither ruckman drove the knee into each other.
So another restart. Ottens and Clark again. One down. Fiora head down, emerges with it. Steps around Clark, kicks down towards half forward. Beautiful finish. Tawney to Tivendale. Should kick this. Well, he tugs it way right. Out of bounds on the full in the right full forward pocket. Sometimes his goal kicking not as good as his field kicking. Here's Stengline, drops the mark, meters in the clear. McLeod is breaking close to the boundary line, takes the mark on his chest. Forward of right half back. 68 plays 57. Tigers on top. Looking to go to the grand final. This is Clark. Still across half back.
Adelaide have set up across the ground here, Dennis. They've got very little on straight down the ground.
Teaser Stallion was McLeod. It comes to Rashudo. Inside the centre square, wants to go. High ball, kicks inside the 50. Storming up the ground is Shell. Had it knocked away. Chance for Bode in front. Spills wide. Bouncing through there is Bickley. Kept it alive. Down goes Edwards in the Campbell tackle. And the umpire calls for the footy.
Burton off and Crowell on for Adelaide.
Great win for Aaron Fiora. That victory there. He's played a terrific game on Brett Burton. Been able to follow him all over the ground. So if he can play across half-back with Leon Cameron, their disposal and set-up from half-back's going to look pretty good.
11 points, Tigers in front. Centre of the ground, Rogers almost pulled it in. Hart around the body, just kicked and hoped. Goodwin gets a bad bounce. Cameron's been very good off half-back. On the fence of 50, wants the boundary line, run over the top of it. Get some support. It's good play by the Tigers. Knights now at half-back flank on the left boot. Up towards Richardson, wrestling and wrestling. He got to the front, got his hands to the ball, couldn't quite hold it. Picked up there by Biglands. Line kick forward. Tigers everywhere. Off the ground goes Bickley. Bode on hands and knees. In goes Knights. Flicks it out to Campbell. Campbell looking for the boundary line and finds it. Umpire says intentional. And Crowell will get the free kick.
Good decision. Good decision.
First touch for the night, Andrew Crowell on centre wing. Crows trailing by 11 points. We're coming up to the 18-minute mark of the third term in the semi-final of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. Towards the forward 50. Bode, front and square, couldn't get the handball away. Tivendale put the grip on him, it was good play. Bowden tried to get the kick out. Smart in hands and knees. They're going in hard now, both sides. We'll have a ball up just inside the centre square area. Forward zone for the Crows. Rashudo last man up.
Last two times Crows have gone inside, Shell and Welsh have spoilt each other in their marking attempts. They need to separate themselves.
As you saw, it's been a while. Goodwin hurriedly inside the 50. Howell had set awkwardly for Shell, who was in front. Vardy dragged off it. Still they go. Cameron, who's been terrific tonight, sent around his right side, gets the hand pass out wide. Zantuck in space, drives it around the outer side. Tawney confronted by Bassett, mugged by Bassett. Tawney to get the free kick.
Professional free kick, Dennis. He had, I think it was Pettifer, no, it was Hilton in space, and Bassett knew it, and so just thought I'll give away a free just to hold things up.
Tawney drives it down towards half forward. Biglands did well, worked under the ball by Richardson, but managed to knock it away. Hilton was over the boundary line. It'll be tossed in with his Tigers up by 11 points.
It was a good result for Nathan Bassett, wasn't it? As you described it, took them on, calculated it, and watch here. And that's as good as he could do there to make sure the ball stayed there and not got further downfield.
Tossed in. Otten slaps it forward. Johnson did well in a tight situation. Bickley to Bode with the run of it. Rashudo sweeping hand pass. Crowell, awkward half volley, in trouble. Manufactured a drop kick, but too late. And Campbell will get the free. Wants the ball quickly too. He's about 55 metres out. Hilton back in the square. Richardson comes on the lead. Biglands closing. Missed the mark. Richardson tosses it out towards Pettifer. Pettifer on his knees. Spins around. Comes back to Knights. Uncharacteristic fumble. Campbell did well. Got it to Zilla. High ball down towards full forward. They come from all directions. Otten's almost. Loose ball at the back. Good one. Edwards kicks towards the outer side. Stretching is Johnson. Can he keep it in? No, it's out of bounds. Boundary throw in.
Adelaide have lifted the intensity in this third term. Hardball gets 8-2 in Adelaide's favour.
18 touches to Kane Johnson's had a fair night, but his opponent's also got a bit of a Dermot Tivendale.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty well. He's had 14 possessions, so just slightly better than a break even for Johnson.
Just ticking over the 20-minute mark of the term. Sting line, as you can see on the screen there. So Tigers by 11 points. Rashudo through the middle of the ground. Crows have got the numbers. McLeod out to Crowell. He can run to 50 and have a flying shot. It's a shocker. Out of bounds on the full, missing by a long way.
He's normally a pretty good shot on goal, but more a set shot there.
Dr. Peter Larkins.
Guys, Adam Houlihan having quite a lot of work done on his right hamstring over the last 5 minutes, so they're just trying to get him loosened up.
Tigers transfer play. Fiora kicks wide to Bowden. The left footers all lining up on the outer side. He swings back inboard. Beautiful kick. Up towards Ottens, who'll fly at the front and takes the mark.
Actually, he's a superstar already. Matthew Richardson led, and his lead was terrible. Bowden would have to kick around his body about 60 metres. Was never going to get to Richo. But Ottens is able to sum it up so very quickly and arrives at the right time. Clark was sitting under the footy. Ottens had a run at him.
And I don't know, do you have favourites in this game, Dermot? I think I've got one.
Well, I'll tell you one thing he does better than market, and that's kick at goal.
He's kicked 3 goals. This will be his 10th disposal. 18 hit-outs for the night. It's been a pretty good night at the office for Brad Ottens if he can hit this one. For goal number 4 from right on 50. Distance no problem, and he splits the middle. It's a beautiful goal.
Carlo's gone crazy with a massive warehouse clearance sale. This is crazy. Thousands of men's and ladies socks, just $2. 20% off luggage, 25% off prints. Camping chairs with drink holder, $14.99. Wow. Carlo's huge warehouse clearance sale on Saturday.
Why stick to a home loan with a 25-year term when with a Latitude home loan, you can own your home in just 8 short years?
It was 13 points at the major break. It's now out to 17. Another testing time for the Crows, approaching three-quarter time. 11-8, 8-9. Clark knocks it down. Knights slips it away. Tawney under pressure. Moves the ball towards half-forward. Biglands takes the mark on his chest.
If Matty Richardson tries to wrestle Biglands will like that.
Interesting kick. There he is, one like that. Rashudo, well played. He's at half-back, feeds it back towards the middle. Bassett, Kane Johnson getting a lot of the footy. Kicks down towards half-forward. Goodwin's up in front, strong hands, could have almost been paid. Found it on the ground. Campbell immediately found him, holding the ball. Gee, that's tough. That is very tough.
I think it's pretty tough there, considering he marked it first time. Oh, well.
Campbell's got the footy. He's got the darting eyes. His side has got the lead as he kicks it down towards half-forward. Richardson, well held by Biglands. In from the side, it was knocked away by Marsh. High tackle applied on Bickley. He'll get the free kick. Bickley, left half back.
Clark off and Stevens on for the Crows as Bickley runs in and out of trouble and finally gets the handball off to Edwards. Looks up and there's nothing to kick to. He has to wait. And now he finds it was a beautiful kick. He waited and waited and then waited the kick. And he found his teammate there in Goodwin. Goodwin now thumps it to the goal square. Mark needed, but not by Richmond. And Vardy, who owes the club, and he's delivering tonight, Royce Vardy. Good play. Comes out wide to Tawney. Handballs inside. Tigers through Pettifer to Poyas. On centre wing now. Poyas, look at that. Right out in front of Richardson. Beautiful kick. And Dermot, that's what you want to see Richardson do. Lead, not wrestle.
Absolutely.
Inside 50 it goes. Tigers have got the numbers at the fall of the ball again. It flicks out to Tippendale. Open goal. He goes to Hilton. He could get it back. Hilton steps around his opponent and kicks the goal. And the Tigers are on fire in the semi-final.
Well, they're working it beautifully. They worked it beautifully out of defence. Richardson up the ground. The tall ruckman and the forward watch each other so carefully in this setup. Richo pushes up. Ottens gets in behind, is able to contest strongly down there. Good hands from Ray Hall. Tippendale, I don't think Hilton was really expecting it, but it found it into his hands. It was a good finish.
Cameron and Campbell come off for a bit of an extended break so they can reload for the last quarter. And Derm, the Tigers have fought on beautifully in this third quarter.
Yeah, and this is the danger period where Adelaide score goals. Luckily, they've only got a minute left, but they scored the goals against Richmond in the second quarter when Campbell went off and time on. And Cameron jarred his knee. I had the binoculars on him earlier. I reckon he might just have a little niggle they're trying to protect here.
Tigers by 23 points. One down decisively by Marsh. Hand pass towards goal by Rashuda. Chopped off by Tivendale. Fiora had to wait. Wrestled to the ground by Rashuda. You've got to love him. He plays to the echo of the whistle. Up he gets. He's a warrior and a wonderful Wizard Cup. Came in averaging high 20s in possessions. And now Marsh is coming off under the blood rule. Almost three-quarter time. Well, there you go.
Extended three-quarter time for Brad Ottens as well, who trudges off just behind Ben Marsh. Clark's back on. Now, they could still score a goal here, Adelaide. Don't give up yet, Richmond, on this one. There's probably less than a minute left in this quarter, and they are very good at sneaking one. They'll make something out of nothing here.
9 seconds. Clark locks up with Hall. Crowd came from behind. Rashudo again touched. Goodwin in front. Slick hands, very slick. Burton could have almost got a free. Over the top down there, Bowden. Loose ball spills wide. Kellaway falling to the ground. Got it to Rogers. Rogers swings it out wide. McLeod trips the left. Fantastic. But took it across the boundary line.
The only bloke in the competition from there, you'd still be nervous, Andrew McLeod.
Absolutely. Look at the pack. Throw in, as Dennis said, the dying seconds of this quarter. Last roll of the dice for Adelaide. Hilton hoiks it out on centre wing. And the Tigers go in with a 23-point lead at the final break. And they could be heading to their first minor cup of the season, and since 1962. In those days, it used to be a knockout competition for those teams who didn't make the finals. And, of course, we've had everything from mid-year competitions to pre-season competitions, you name it, but the Tigers haven't been amongst it. But it looks like they're going to be in a grand final, boys.
Way down at Lakeside in those days too, and 1962. It's hard to think of it, 40 years ago. And maybe the Tigers are on the way again tonight, Ed.
Well, the Tigers are certainly doing it all at the moment. They lead 12-8-80 to Adelaide 8-9-57. And it was the Tigers in that third term who kicked the last 3 goals through Hall, Ottens and Hilton to take in a 23-point lead. Can they hang on? We'll find out right after the break on AFL.
To steal the ultimate prize and catch the ultimate thief, you have to set the ultimate trap.
What do you have in mind for bait?
Sunday night at the movies.
There can be nothing personal. You do your part, I do mine.
Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
This is called entrapment.
Actually, it's called blackmail.
Jump aboard the blockbuster premiere, where one wrong move could be your last. Entrapment, 8:30 Sunday on 9.
I was actually on the first plane that went in. You know, to go into another country that's been ravaged by war and devastation, it was definitely a life-changing experience. I had a team of 30 soldiers. Basically, it was my job to take control, make sure that the soldiers and the locals were safe. Undoubtedly, all my officer training really came to the forefront. You know, I didn't really think about it at the time, but it was a pretty full-on job for a 23-year-old.
Down, so happy. I've never felt this way.
Who said being rich
I'm so happy.
wouldn't make you happy?
Thick and rich. Cotter's topping.
They're looking at your general leadership, communication skills, tactical exercises, public speaking. There's a whole range that they focus on. There's times when it's daunting, but in the end it's a fantastic feeling.
Thicker sheets for an even gentler start to the day.
Peter? Peter?
New Sorbent Extra Thick.
Footy fans, if you have the passion, we have the power. The power needs you to cheer them to victory in 2002, and the smartest way to do it is with a season ticket. Prices start at $110 for adults and $39 for children for 11 home games, including Showdown 12. For all inquiries and to get the best deal for you and your family, ring the Power Hotline now on 8447 9900. Don't waste your passion. See the game live. Ring 8447 9900 now.
Welcome to the Mitre 10 Power Buy Final. First up, the Aladdin Adventure of Vacuum Flask. Gibbo.
Look, Daryl, it comes with 4 mugs at $54.95. Hard to beat.
Let's go to the judges. 10 out of 10. Look at the Project Air Compressor. Gibbo.
Love this one at $1.99.
10 out of 10 by Chingo. Here comes the Pert Electronic Bathroom
A
Scales.
winner at $39.95.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 Power Buys on now.
It's Power Buys at Mitre 10.
An outbreak of mad crow disease. You could only just roll towards me.
Where's the wheel?
I've got a feeling it's around your guts, Bill. This is the very bumper Barretto. Lay under that.
The one habit everybody loves. The Footy Show returns 9:30 Thursday on 9.
The Wizard Home Loans Cup brought to you by Carlton Draft, the official beer of the AFL, and Viking, the chocolate bar with horns.
Yes, indeed. The Tiger fans, they're up. They've chanted all the way through the three-quarter time break, and they're smelling a grand final. They lead by 23 points at three-quarter time. Let's go down to Tony Jones.
Yes, with me is Greg Hutchison, the assistant coach to Danny Frawley. Finished off the quarter pretty well there, Greg.
Yeah, it was terrific. I think their ability to run the game out's been really good, and I think even over the last 3 games, we've only had 3 goals kicked against us in the last quarter, so we're looking forward to it.
Be nice to have a few Brad Ottens out there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, even one wag in the crowd suggested we needed another one, so they're pretty astute.
Well, you're only a quarter away from a grand final spot now, so good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Tony.
Greg Hutchison joining us there, Ed.
And no wonder he wants another one there, Tony, because big Brad Ottens has been sensational all around the ground and has kicked 4 goals as well. Boys, the job, as the great Merv Williams used to say, they're like the boy with the barrow. They've got the job in front of them now, the Crows.
They've got to find a marking target up forward, Eddie, to capitalise on the ability to go inside 50. Only 4 contested marks for the Crows. 1 of those inside 50 for the quarter. 11 to Richmond. 5 of them inside 50.
It's the Tigers by 23 points. Dennis Cometti with the call.
Bounce to start this final term. Ottens goes up, taps it down. Campbell met solidly by Johnson. McLeod had it, lost it. King picked his pocket. Fiora goes out wide. This is Bowden, runs inside the 50. Fairy tale start for the Tigers. Long range goal.
Well, that is just the start they would have liked from Joel Bowden. His second for the night. He set him up in the first half. Nelson went on to him in the third quarter and just started to put the clamps on him a little bit. But out of the middle, just a nothing tap out. But they scrapped pretty well in close against the best centre clearances in the competition. Bowden sneaks out the back, and a finish like that. We put the acid on him before the game, Joel Bowden, and he has delivered in a big way.
Certainly has delivered, and so too have the Tigers after a minute. In the final term, it's 13-8-86. Adelaide 8-9-57, and suddenly the margin is out to 29 points. Marsh in the ruck. Up against Ottens. Ottens goes up. Marsh got the tap, but it's King for the second time who got the ball away. Out towards Cracker. Bounce beats him. Edwards for the Crows in defensive 50. Looks upfield. McLeod's there. Takes the mark. Quickly gets the kick away. It was a wobbly old kick. Marsh at half forward flank. Kicks inside the 50. The kick was over the head of his lead. Ray Hall at the back has got Bowden all on his own again. Why won't they pick him up, Dermot?
He's running too hard in.
Bowden around the corner to Ottens. There's a procession ready to go if Ottens can get the kick away. He was held up. That was good play. Now he chips over the top. Zilla. King has got away again. Crows haven't worked out. He's on the ground. 3 possessions for Clinton King in the opening minute and a half. Inside 50. Off the hands of the pack, over the line and out of bounds. We'll have a throw in deep in the attacking zone for the Tigers. 11,265 people in attendance. Young Andrew Cracker set the pounce on this throw in.
Tiger bench. King has been terrific to start this final term. Quickly put him on the ground. Boundary throw in the pocket. Biglands. Directed it down. Houlihan hurriedly. Chance for Richo. Well, the idea was right. Backing out of the pack is Marsh. Slams it up in the air. Down goes Bassett belatedly. Meeting the sandwich there. A couple of strong tacklers 20 metres out from the Tigers' attacking goal.
Looking a bit more content now, Danny Frawley. Gee, Ben Marsh was lucky there. He went into, coming in a metre from the baseline in tennis. He was neither right back nor up at the edge of the pack. He was in no man's land, and luckily went to win.
Rashudo out very wide. Wait for the Tiger fans. They recall Campbell's effort in the third term. But Rashudo from about 30 metres that time, getting it out of bounds. Crows bench. Under pressure now. 29 points the margin. Boundary throw in. Inside the attacking 50. Well done by Ottens. Campbell gets it away tonight. Ottens cleared the path for Campbell. Kick towards the middle. Going back with great courage was Bode.
Good third quarter for Matthew Bode.
Here's Hart storming out of defence. Kicks with precision. Rashudo lacking support. Has to stop. Now indecisive. Goes very wide again. McLeod into space, but not much gain there.
I wonder whether Brett Burton, you'd bring him on now as a target up forward. They are going very wide.
Biglands runs to 50. Puts it to the goal square. Shell takes the mark. No, it slipped out. Zantuck, well, he should have forced her behind. Realizing that, a teammate does. Dives across the line there. It was Hall, was it? So behind. Yep, the big man who's had his moments tonight.
So the Crows needed a goal. They got a point. It's 86-58 in favour of the Tigers. Final term, we've played 4.5 minutes. Leon Cameron has the ball. Dr. Peter Larkins-Dermott picked a limp on Leon Cameron just at the tail end of the third quarter.
Yeah, he'd probably, we know he's got a chronic knee injury when he was at the Bulldogs, but certainly has had no treatment from the medical staff and seems to be moving okay. Just got some massage on the back of the knee at three-quarter time.
Nice chip from Bowden to King, and Cameron runs down the ground. The kick was a beauty out in front of Richo, who takes the mark. He swings around, has leads. Cracker is the sweeper at the back, looking for Andrew Cracker. Eventually, the kick was forward. Here's Cracker. He dived in on top of it, couldn't quite get his hands on the ball. We'll have another ball up. Richo's 10th mark. The kick was a bit ordinary, though, boys.
I think they've worked really well, Richmond, at maintaining space and keeping players well clear of Matthew Richardson tonight. And that was the difference between this game and Carlton. He had absolutely no space all night, but tonight he's been one out and he's taken 10 marks as a result.
Shell off and Bock on. That's Nathan Bock.
Bock on.
Marsh to McLeod. Oof. Big torpedo. Thumps it long. From behind, though. Good play by Cameron again. This is a good duel. Cameron in there against Goodwin. It was a good win for Cameron. As it came out, Tawney sweeping handball to his captain in Campbell. Threaded the needle beautifully to Fiora. Make that, yes, it was Fiora. Got the kick to the forward 50, but here's a chance now on the overlap for the Crows. They have the numbers. They have the ball with Crowell at centre-half forward. Crowell decides to go long to the square. Bock is the man. Bock just came on. It might bounce through anyway. They need to touch this through the Tigers. Now they rush it through from Vardy. And once again, the Crows needing a goal come up with a point. It moves on to 86-59. 8-11-59 to 13-8-86. The Tigers in front. And we've been going for 6 minutes and 15 seconds in the final term.
Yeah, I hope young Bock is a tall bloke, because the way he went to pick that up off the ground, 193 centimetres, so we'll excuse him for something below the ankles in an effort like that.
What do you say? You hope he's a tall bloke?
Well, if you go for him below your knees like that and you don't even lay a glove on him, you've got to be tall as your only excuse.
Tawney gets it to Campbell.
Dennis liked that one.
Hard call.
And half-back Vardy. Cameron, right half-back, looks it over the top. Rogers. Campbell, they're sharing it well. Campbell, not a good kick, but effective. Finds Knights down towards right half forward. The Tigers doing very nicely. They're running hard. Rogers thought about it just as well. Pulled it back. Forward of the wing, kicks inside the 50. Richardson comes hard off his fingertips. Hart behind under pressure. Cracker put him down. Bassett in real trouble. Ottens goes over the top. Emerges with the footy. Trying to crash his way through was Edwards. Picked up by Bode. Gets it across to support. Stengline. The hand pass comes from Johnson. Running through the middle, Goodwin. He's tried hard. Bock comes on the lead. Well, he shinned this one forward. He knows where it is. He's tracking it. Vardy is there. Wells tries to get to McLeod. McLeod goes over the top of Bowden. Advantage is paid. Well, Tawney didn't know whose free kick it was. Oh, that's right, umpire. Blame the player. Bowden goes short. You can't win, can you?
Sorry, Dan. They've carried the ball well. They've had 10 bounces now, Richmond, to Adelaide's 3 for the night.
Campbell's on and Cracker's there in support. It bounces well for Andrew Cracker. Look at that, just one hand, drew the player, then passed it off to his captain. That was beautiful play. Houlihan at half forward. Kick was ordinary on that occasion. Coming out as Ottens, just plucked it out of the air, tried to flick it over the top, looking for Cracker. Now Cracker gets the handball back out to Campbell. He could kick the goal. No, he kicks to the square instead and finds his teammate in Hilton. The Tiger fans go up, and Hilton can set up a Tiger Grand Final in the Wizard Home Loans Cup.
Danny Frawley said that they had just scratched their way through to this semi-final, and he was right. Well, he would know, of course. But today they've really showed some signs of getting sharp, precise. Their ball movement's been really impressive. They've kicked it well. A couple of players have stood up.
Hilton's kick 2. He comes in and kicks his 3rd. And the Tigers 14th.
Hey, look what's new with Fisher & Paykel at Keith Bowden Electrical. Fisher & Paykel Active Smart Twin Door Frost-Free Refrigerators in white or stainless steel for safe long-term food storage. And KBE's interest-free terms make it easy for you.
If you think that's good, just wait till you hear the price from Keith Bowden. Only...
At Keith Bowden Electrical, we never advertise price.
You keep coming back. Keep coming back.
Rory Hilton gets his third goal, the fifth in concession, or rather successive goals as far as they're concerned, the Tigers. Got a run on now. Ottens goes up, traps it, well played, feeds it back to King, swings it out wide. Hilton, who got the last goal, nobody near him, kicks inside the 50. Knight stretches and takes the mark. He's 40 metres out.
Great vision from Rory Hilton. It's something that you can't see on the stats. You can't mark it. It's just, I think players have got it or they haven't. And Rory Hilton, then just composure and vision. Two qualities I think are so important in footballers, modern day footballers.
Well, I think it's just about time for Gary Ayres to protect his real stars now and give some of the grunts a bit of a run in the middle, Gary.
The Crows are going up and down on the spot at the moment. Umpire making his point. Darren Golsping. Knights lines up. Bending it back left to right. Splits the middle. Wonderful kick.
Here's a plug for Truscott Hi-Fi. And everyone leads to a very special product at a very low price. Yamaha 30-watt CD micro hi-fis reduced $100. LG 68cm stereo teletext TVs $100 off. JVC 200 times digital zoom camcorders $400 off. LG karaoke DVD players save $35. And extremely good Philips 6-head VCRs $40 off. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
23 points of difference at three-quarter time. It's now the Tigers by 39 at the 11-minute mark of the final term. 15-8-98 plays Adelaide, 8-11-59. The 5-day break might start taking its toll on the Adelaide Crows as well, because the Tigers are full of running now as they run into a grand final against either Port Adelaide or the Sydney Swans. Ball up. Ottens jumps high. Got the tap. Tivendale, umpire called play on.
Steady up, boys. Steady up in there.
Steady up, they were going nowhere. We'll have a ball up. Interesting to see Rodney Eade today saying that the comments of Dale Lewis has really affected the Sydney Swans in the build-up to the game against Port Adelaide. Ottens gets the tap. Bode got the kick for Adelaide. Inside 50 it goes. Hilton. Bowden ducked his head, almost was clobbered, then pushed in the back. The umpire's given it the Tigers' way. It's all going the way of the Tigers at the moment. Sweeping handball at the Zantuck. Zantuck slams it on the boot. Andrew Kellaway's free on the wing. He takes them up. Have a look at this, Dermot. There's Tigers everywhere.
What are they, a pride if you get that to Lions, isn't it?
It is, yeah. There's plenty of pride out there, though, as Tawney kicks up, and the mark's been taken by Fiora. Just outside 50.
Big left footer, Aaron Fiora, sorry. And he's first run back. He's been terrific, as is young Zantuck in the back half. 6 mark for the afternoon or evening.
He's a silly chance from here.
He is a chance.
Fiora comes in from just inside the 50. Gives it a beautiful roost. He's pulled it, though, inside. And it's through for a point. So 15-9-99. Adelaide 8-11-59. 40 points the difference, and we've been going for just on 13 minutes in the final term.
Well, Nigel Smart's gone to centre half forward, and they've pushed, I think, young Nathan Bock to full back. Let him run straight at it, Gary.
Stengline in short to Edwards.
Nickname Choi.
So Edwards told to play on. Kicks out wide. Slow down, taken by Johnson. Gets to his feet. Stengline cruising past around the outer side. Kicks it down towards half forward. In front, Smart, the juggled attempt. Mark is paid. He's 65 metres out.
There was once a time when Nigel Smart was a very, very competent centre half forward. One of the best in leagues when they pinch hit with him.
Smart sets it up. They'll contest about 25 metres out from goal. Fiora almost the one-hander. Bowden, clever hand pass. Into the path of Houlihan, who runs it up towards half-back, kicks towards the wing. With the run of it, Hilton, good comeback by him. Bickley ever courageous, knocked it down to his own advantage, runs on, spears the pass into Crowell. Crowell is 60 metres out.
Really falling down tonight from this kick in that can't make a goal, but goes to within the teeth.
Again, 20 metres out, big leap at the back. That was Shell, but in front, Vardy will be paid the mark. Wonderful midfield, the Crows, but they're breaking down up forward. And eventually, the midfield cracked, and as a result, the Tigers have pulled away. Zantuck to Bowden. Bowden drives it towards the outer side, and Cracker, uncontested. 40 points the margin. Approaching 15 minutes played, final term. Cracker drives it down towards half forward. Fisted away by Richardson in the role of a defender there. Tivendale hurriedly, beautiful kick. Richardson did well initially, and now Ottens has got the football. And that's been the story, really. Players prepared to do the right thing. Not often you see Richardson do that.
They've had 156 uncontested possessions, Richmond, to Adelaide's 118. They are running hard all over the ground, and they can't convert. Adelaide inside their 50. They went inside 50, the second highest amount last year, Dermot, for the worst goal conversion in the competition.
Ottens going at 5 here. Kicks from right on the 50. Just tugs it right to left and misses it behind. But the work rate has been something special by the Tigers at various times in this game. And as I say, Richardson prepared to spoil from behind, and had that been a goal, I suppose that would have underlined the sort of effort he'd made.
Be interesting now with Danny Frawley. We saw Brisbane last year went flat for the first 7 rounds of the year after they had a real tilt at the night competition, and Richmond might keep that in mind too while they're going forward, although try and win it.
They finished off all right though, didn't they, Brisbane?
Yeah, sure did, but it took them a while to come good, about round 8, I think.
It's been a good build-up though for Danny Frawley over the 3 years, taking them into the finals and now into a grand final of the Wizard Cup. Up forward, here's a chance for Bode. Good little snap around the corner, and was it Welsh or Bode? Yes. I think it was Welsh, and Welsh has kicked goal number 3.
Is back. Game over.
Doc called him. Been a while since the Crows kicked a goal. 6 straight from the Tigers before that one. A little too late. 15-10 plays 8-12, or is it 15-10 plays 9-11? The scoreboard at the ground incorrect as McLeod breaks away from the middle. Forward of the wing, chips it inside the 50. Welsh came again, deflected it down. Spinning out of trouble, Zantuck. Welsh is down and hurt. Meantime, Knights through midfield. Looks inside the 50. Nothing much on offer. Interesting kick. It bounces down to Houlihan. Richardson right on the 50. Pulls it back towards the middle. Cracker out of position. Works into the contest. Knocked it away from Bickley. And the ball spills towards the boundary line and goes out.
Ty Zantuck has been very good in the back half. And this was a terrific bit of play. Clash of heads there. Scotty Welsh and the nude nut of Nigel Smart. He's all right though, Scotty Welsh.
He actually braced for that one, Smarty. He looked like he meant it.
I think all right is dressing it up just a bit. Tossed in alongside the behind post. In front. A chance for the Tigers. Going nowhere was Houlihan. Nelson to Bock, who drives it around the outer side. Crowell in best position. Couldn't hang on. Fiora was tripped, and he'll get the free kick. Kane Johnson pleads his case, but nothing doing. Fiora's got the football on the outer side. Normally a good user. Spots Kellaway, thought about it. Now he plays on with his left side, beckoning. High ball. They'll contest about 20 metres out. No contest. Biglands.
So Biglands at full back for the Crows, and let's listen to Darren Goldsby.
We're in the marking contest. No, hang on, Louis. I know, but you weren't in the marking contest. Thank you.
Art Nellis, in fact, it was. 50 metres. McLeod from the half-back flank. Crows starting to run now. Ball out wide. There's our man, Bock. Kicks it around the corner. Nelson from inside 50. It's a flying shot for the goal, but it's across the face and through for another behind to the Crows. They're 9-12-66, trailing the Tigers 15-10-100. And we're coming up to the 19-minute mark of the final term. There's the captain, Campbell. He is now having a nice rest in preparation for next week. Dermot?
Yeah, well, I really reckon that's an important situation now with Danny Frawley. Oh, that's shabby. He's hard runners. He really needs to conserve them, not only for next week, Ed, but for there beyond.
He's had a good night tonight, Royce Vardy. That one wasn't too flash. 10 possessions in the back pocket, over the head of the pack, and we'll have another throw in. Oh, Royce has got an old-fashioned Richmond head, hasn't he, Royce Vardy?
Oh, it's a well-lived-in head, Ed.
He's good and he's hard at it too.
You could only be a backman with a head like that. But having said that, he's been pretty good.
Boundary throw in, plenty of space goal side, falls to the back. This is Smart, lays it off, looping hand pass. Edwards goes past the oncoming players, hooks it back. It's close, just wide of the mark, I fancy, behind. So a perfect tune-up for a grand final for the Tigers, who can sit back tomorrow and just watch and see who they'll play.
Hard to pick the Monaro man of the match, Dermot, tonight, because Joel Bowden's had a stellar night as well. 25 touches, 10 marks. He's rebounded outside 58 times and he's pumped it inside 55 times.
Had another one there, Gary.
9 times out of defensive 50.
Joel Bowden spots a man out wide. That's Vardy. He's got it at right half back. 15-10, plays 9-13. Here's King, who was lively to start this term. Off his step, Hilton almost fell in front. Smart outnumbered. Johnson arrives. Rashudo, Nelson a fumble. Spent a lot of time on the bench. The hand pass under pressure not particularly good. Johnson slides in the opposite direction. Tevendale spotted a man out wide. Kellaway sees Richardson. Well done again by Biglands, who leads back in the race. Good pick up by the big man too. Throws it on the boot, but unfortunately straight to Ottens, who lines up and kicks it behind. Possibly his easiest chance of the night.
Well, the turnover there was Ben Nelson, who I'm full of admiration for. Quite a professional type player and has a real dig at it, but he's never had real clean hands for this standard footy. He needs to work on one take in the ball.
Brad Otten's disappointed. Had 4 goals coming to this term. Has now kicked 2 behinds for 4 goals 2. Fantastic effort for the night, but he reckons he should have had at least 5, probably 6. Crowell for the Adelaide Crows takes it inside the 50. Vardy from behind has been excellent tonight. Well done to Royce Vardy. He's had his demons this last couple of months, and it's good to see him out there playing good football again.
Yeah, he's been terrific, Eddie, in the key post, and they've welcomed back Aaron Fiora, who's been great. Rory Hilton's had a wonderful night as well, and Ray Hall. So Hall and Vardy, if they can hold down the key defensive post in the back end for Richmond, then they're going to be well placed.
Over the head of the pack, rather. It comes down to Crowell. Kick was smothered and through for 1 point. Hilton coming off for the Tigers. Danny Frawley just starting to rest his midfield players now. Ray Hall comes on. Bowden plays on. From the back pocket. Gets a good shepherd from Fiora. Runs a defensive 50. There's no 15 there. You could hear the umpire, but it didn't need it. Bowden kept running, and they have got numbers everywhere, the Tigers. Cameron up to the forward 50, but getting out was our man Bott. Had a good spring there, Gary.
This is Bode on the outer side, pulls it back towards the middle. Taken by Crowell, lays it off. Edwards just outside the 50. Well, it came unglued again. Tawney gave it to Hall. Steps around an oncoming would-be tackler and drives it to half forward, but didn't look. Marsh is in the road. Squares the ball. Bickley up from half back. Hand passes away. Bassett across the ground. Plenty of Crows on this side of the ground. Marked by Johnson. Stengline. Run down by Tivendale. This is Marsh. 60 metres out. Sets it up towards the kickoff line. Zantuck comes in from the side. Crash the pack. Welsh goes off the ground. Vardy leads in the race. Vardy and Welsh push in the back. Advantage will be paid. Cameron around the boundary line. Finds Zantuck. Draws a man. Goes over the top yet again. Houlihan in slow motion. Around the outer side. Kicks it down towards half forward. Richardson.
Perfect kick.
Taking a lot of marks tonight. Little return in terms of goals. Kicks over King's head. And the free kick is going, I think, to the Tigers down there to Brad Ottens. He was pushed in the back.
I had the binoculars on Matthew Richardson while the player was at the other end, and he worked so hard. For a backline player to be able to cover the ground and have the continuous efforts that he has, you're going to have to be a very good player. And I've spoken enough about this bloke, Dermot. You have a go.
Dennis, I'd like to hear the description for Houlihan's kick. It was centimetre perfect.
As it turned out, it was, yes.
Complete.
Write your own lines, Dan.
Yeah, I know. I just want to hear Dennis say it.
He took his time in the build-up too, didn't he? Here's Ottens, 55 metres out, gives it a ride, slides it across the face. Big leap at the back down there, Richardson. His 12th mark, his 20th possession, in short, not 15. Always, Matthew Richardson can make it interesting. And Poyas puts it out of bounds on the full.
Yes, he certainly does, Richard. The head, he'll have whiplash tonight. He's thrown his head back that many times. But the Tigers are on their way to a grand final. Don't worry about that. They lead by 53 points. Bassett for the Crows, over the top to the running McLeod. He has a bounce, fumbles the ball uncharacteristically. Has time to regain it though, and from 55 he kicks to the square. Welsh is there, Zantuck for the Tigers, punched away. In goes Knightsgrove when he didn't have the ball. Vardy hard at it. That's very good play, and the Tigers run it out again. Ray Hall, wobbly old kick, was clobbered after he took it. It's downfield, it didn't matter. Callaway took the mark. Cracker lurks with intent. That's where the ball's going. Has to take it on the half volley, does it beautifully. Just overlapping very nicely at the moment as Houlihan blindsides it and kicks it straight down. The throw of Ottens is up and under. Lands in the breadbasket of this man, Joel Bowden, who will line up from 55. Around the corner to Cracker. 30th touch for Joel Bowden was silky. And young Andrew Cracker lines up for his third goal.
Well, that was interesting. The original kick from Ottens, we had Ezra Poyas in the goal square 90 metres away saying, kick it to me, kick it to me. So we tried to load up for a torpedo off the side, and it landed in Joel Bowden's arms.
Ottens comes off. That's the round of applause. On the siren, Cracker comes in and kicks a goal. And it's been Cracker night tonight for the Tigers. And they're into the grand final of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. Richmond 16-11 107 have defeated Adelaide 9-14-68 and have the chance to win their first pre-season cup since 1962. It's a huge night for the Tigers.
And this is fantastic for the Richmond players, and even more so the much-starved Richmond supporters. They are down there at the moment loving every second of it.
Dermo jump in because Tony Jones is with big Brad Ottens.
Yes, and certainly one of the contenders for the Monaro Man of the Match, Brad Ottens. What a sensational night by you personally and the team in general.
Well, it was just a great win. Just a chance to play in a grand final, even if it's, you know, a pre-season cup, it's just still a grand final, so it's a great experience for all the young blokes on the side and that, so it should be good. And not to mention the hordes of supporters behind the Coventry goals there. I mean, they've been with you through thick and thin, and this is as much theirs as it is yours, I guess. Yeah, they're always here. There's a group that's always here, and you can rely on them being here every week, and it's fantastic. They get behind you, and you see Adelaide have got hardly anything, which is probably understandable, but yeah, it really lifts the boys when there's so many people here, to be honest.
Now, just quickly, what did Danny have to say at half-time? It was up for grabs really, the game then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just we probably killed them in the second quarter, except for the last 5 minutes, and that was pretty disappointing. So we just got to concentrate on playing the quarters out and not letting them get those quick, easy goals at the end. So, but the second half was pretty encouraging, so it was good.
Good on you, mate. A big week at punt row. Go and join your teammates. Good on you. Brad Ottens joining us there.
Well done, Tony Jones. Yeah, big Brad Ottens kicked 4 goals too. He said they ran over the top. Did they ever? They kicked 7 of the last 8 goals from the 14-minute mark of the third term, Gary Lyon.
Oh, look, really impressive the way they went about it, Eddie. And I think that probably from a Richmond point of view is that they haven't been set up for this right from the word go. They've just built up to it really nicely, and they dropped the game and they just snuck through the other week. But really, right now, they're in as good a shape as you could possibly hope to be going into a grand final. And they'll give it a good tilt next week, and they'll get a fair crowd behind them as well.
They'll meet the winner of tomorrow's game between Port Adelaide and the Sydney Swans. The Tigers get their chance at some silverware for the first time since 1982 when they lost to Carlton in the grand final. Their last premiership, 1980, their last night premiership back in 1962. The Tigers tonight, 16-11-107, Adelaide 9-14-68. We'll be back to wrap up with all the interviews from the rooms right after this. This is AFL on 9.
this situation, who would you believe?
Call said one dead body.
Caught him red-handed. I'm not a bad person.
What are you?
Tuesday.
If you know so much about these murders, what do you need me for?
Murders? There are more bodies.
There's something this suspect is hiding.
Well, I don't have to talk.
He wouldn't do this.
The evidence doesn't get any better than this.
Something the crime scene hasn't revealed.
Best you can hope for is life without parole.
America's #1 drama will surprise you. CSI, 8:30 Tuesday on 9.
The Monaro Man of the Match. Win a Monaro Hot Lap with V8 Supercar drivers in an all-new Holden Monaro. After this game, call to register the player that you believe will be voted the Monaro Man of the Match by the commentary team and then say, Monaro Game Over. Or SMS your selection on this number and remember to add, Monaro Game Over. Watch the next game and the Monaro Man of the Match will be revealed along with the lucky home viewer. There's one winner every game. The Monaro Man of the Match.
It's got to be perfect. Too many people take second best, but I won't take anything less. It's got to be, yeah, perfect. It's got to be, yeah,
Great range. Yeah, but all supermarkets do. Look at the specials. And they all have specials. But yeah, these prices are pretty good.
Just use fruit juice, $1.99, save 98 cents. Coca-Cola or Sprite, $1.19, save 42. Arnott's plain biscuits, 89 cents, save 65. And surf powder or concentrate, $1.99, save $1.16.
Foodland is different to the others. The stores are owned by South Australians and the money stays here. Well, that does make a difference, Mum. Yeah.
Come on, South Aussies, shop at Foodland.
Just once, I want these guys at Subway to talk to me about something besides food. Hey, Scott! Hey, Jim. You know that girl at the pet store? The redhead? She's asking about you.
The one who feeds the lizards and the turtles?
Yeah, you got something you want me to tell her?
Yeah. Tell her that right now, Subway has great seafood tastes. Like the delicious Subway seafood and crab sandwich and the tasty tuna sandwich. Both with delicious toppings, all on fresh baked bread. They're two great tastes from the sea.
Scott, you don't get out very much, do you?
Subway, eat fresh.
I'll tell you what, they're running on empty out there. They really need some fresh legs. And here they come, off the bench and raring to go. This will make a huge difference, straight into the heat of the action. This is exactly what they need.
Golden draft, thanks.
The Clipsal 500 introduces special ticket packages for families and a dedicated area with a Clipsal Vision Super Screen. Book at Bass on 131246.
The Monaro is back. Game over.
Danny faces shocking news about her pregnancy, and with Peter undercover,
The doctor thinks I should have a termination.
No, you guys have got to get me out of here.
she faces the hardest decision of her life alone.
The news isn't good, I'm afraid.
Stingers, 9:30 Tuesday on 9.
Like the tigers of old, we're strong and we're bold, oh, we're from Tiger.
are the Tigers, who go into the grand final of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. As I said, their first grand final since '82, when they lost to the Carlton side at their first premiership chance since 1980, when they rolled the Maggies by 81 points in a then record score. And of course, back to 1962 for a pre-season cup. And good to see Clinton Casey, the president, in there with Danny Frawley and the boys having a sing-along there. Yeah, and I tell you what, it's been a big summer for Clinton by the looks of things. He's gone grey overnight.
It gives him some good impetus coming into this season. Brad Otten's kicked 4 goals and Cracker 3 great crumbing goals. Rory Hilton, welcome back to the Richmond team for 3. And for Adelaide, Shell looked right, Dermot, and Welsh, they got a bit of value from their key forwards. They needed some more marking options.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a big week. I tell you what, down to the Grand Prix, it was absolutely magnificent, and here's your chance to share not only your football knowledge, but your chance to enjoy the hot lap as well. It's the V8 Monaro, and this is the Monaro Man of the Match competition. Get on the line, 1902 553 698. What you have to say is, hold a Monaro Man of the Match. You must say Monaro Game Over before giving your selection. So Monaro Game Over. Or if you're on the SMS, what about this? 0429 90 90 90. 0429 90 90 90. Now you have to text in Monaro Man of the Match. You have to put in the man of the match, and you have to put your own name in there. It'll only take you a few moments, and away you go. Monaro Man of the Match. You have to put Monaro Game Over. So if I was doing it, I'd be saying Eddie Maguire. I'd probably say Joel Bowden, and then I'd say Monaro Game Over. So that's the way to do it. That's last week's winner. Brisbane St Kilda, Simon Black was the best on ground, according to our panel of experts. And Nick Seal, West Brunswick, Victoria, gets the Monaro Man of the Match award. Let's go down to Tony Jones. He's in the Tigers' rooms.
Thanks very much, Eddie. Well, an unlucky Tiger joining us in Ben Holland. You were pretty close to playing, but in the end, the hammy just didn't stand up.
Yeah, I got through a training session yesterday, but the doctors and physio sort of thought, oh, we'll give it one more week, and paid off in the end, and the boys didn't need me out there.
Tell you what, it was a hell of a game to miss.
Yeah, fantastic win by the boys. The forward line's really gelling together now well, and the back line held together, so the boys are doing well, and hopefully continue next week.
Ben, Gary Lyon, a terrific win for the Richmond Footy Club. Where do you see yourself playing? They had Vardy and Hall that held it together in the back half, and Ottens, and also Richo up forward. So where are you going to slot in?
I might be down at Coburg next week, I reckon, Gary, or playing there for the year. The boys did fantastic. Royce Vardy's doing really well down there, and Ty Zantuck and a few of the guys like that. And up forward, we've got the tall timbers in Richo and Brad Otten. So, I mean, hopefully I can slip in there somewhere, but no, the team's going well at the moment, so I'm just happy with that.
Ben, Dermot Burton here. Well done to the club. I'm pretty sure you'll get a slot back into that team, but they've really been working over the last couple of years to introduce pure foot skill into the back half of the ground, and tonight we saw Fiora back there on this occasion. It's really been working for them.
Yeah, I suppose the recruit of Leon Cameron's really sort of highlighted that position, and we need that deliverer of the ball down across half-back, and Aaron Fiora's been developing lately, and yeah, he showed tonight that he's capable of doing that same role as Leon.
We're watching the players come through the strides here, and the great thing about their this shot on goal from Ray Hall is they're all players who really can deliver the ball, whereas we saw 2 years ago, if you're playing Richmond, you'd try and get the ball in the hands of the blokes who weren't all that good by foot, but we see them here lining up now. They really have introduced a lot of that skill, as you've just explained. Do they do extra work on that at training now, as a team in general?
Oh no, we've sort of made a big emphasis to try and get the ball to the good deliverers of the ball, like the Leon Camerons, Greg Tivendale, Joel Bowdens and things like that, and get in behind them. So we have been working on it ourselves, but when we can get it to those boys, we get it to them because they're great deliverers.
Well done, Ben. Good luck, mate.
Thanks, guys.
All the best. And Tony Jones down in the Tiger rooms. Well, tell you what, Clinton King, he was the king out on the ground, but there was another king in the audience tonight. And the good news is Elvis has finally left the building tonight, but I tell you what, he was there and pumping. Look at that.
Who was he supporting, Edward?
No, he was the Tiger man tonight. Don't worry about that. Yeah. And, oh, he's even a goal umpire there. Fantastic. And that was obviously very much in the Las Vegas days before he decided that those ham rolls were pretty good.
We could get Doc Larkins on him with a bit of pelvic thrust, but he's got a report for us, we believe, down in
the room.
He's
the first bloke ever to suffer osteitis pubis was Elvis Presley, apparently. Let's go down to Dr. Peter Larkins.
He wasn't too bad, was he? And maybe we'll put that on the list of possible causes. Well, nothing like the coach likes to hear but a clean bill of health, and that's what Richmond have got tonight. They saw them resting Wayne Campbell and also see Matthew Knights and Leon Cameron coming off there. They were just tired. No injury problems to report for next week. Brian Binky, 7 goals last week. The only kick he got this week was in the right thigh, and that's why we didn't see him in the second half. He had a bad corky, but Richmond be looking forward to the grand final with a full list available from tonight's game.
All right, Pete, thanks very much there. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a fantastic Wizard Home Loan Series. Just before we say goodbye, of course, we have got plenty of football action coming up. It's the Footy Show back next Thursday night at 9:30. The season return, as we said, we had the warm-up last night, the best of, and wasn't there some shocking hairstyles?
Just as a matter of interest.
Oh, hey, look, it's all right. At least it's mine. That's all right. And then, of course, the next time you'll be switching on the dial will be the big one, the season opener on the Thursday leading up to the Easter weekend. The Tigers, will it be hot off a Wizard Cup premiership? We'll find out. They'll be up against my boys, the Magpies. That's going to be a beauty. Two of the great sides, the big armies will be out in force. There'll be 95,000 people that Thursday night to see Richmond take on Collingwood, and you'll see it on AFL Online. Dermot, Gary?
You might get more for that one. If Richmond get up next week, you might get more than that, Ed.
More than 95.
Absolutely lock them in.
Sit on your lap.
Well, they might get one more than that, Gary. What is capacity now there? I don't know.
It's about 95.
Oh, well, OK, you'll get 95.
It'll be full, there's no doubt about it. And, of course, if you can't get a ticket, and that's going to be the case right throughout Friday Night Football, just sit back and listen to Derm and Gary and the boys on AFL Online. It's been a fantastic Wizard Home Loans Cup series, as I've said. One finalist is now complete. The Tigers are there and they're ready. They will take on the winner of tomorrow's game between Port Adelaide and the Sydney Swans. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage tonight on Channel 9. We'll see you for the big season opener on the Thursday before Easter when the Tigers take on the Magpies.
This has been a
00 now.
Video games used to be confined to arcades and amusement parlours. Then came the computer revolution, which moved them into millions of homes around the world. Sony's PlayStation and Nintendo have dominated a multi-billion-dollar market where just about every adventure is catered for. But now, the big boys of the game business are about to be hit with some serious competition. It comes through a revolutionary new program simply called Xbox.
It looks and sounds like the real thing. And if you believe all the hype, Xbox is the most exciting development in the short history of computer games.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
At its launch in the US late last year, thousands of computer fanatics filled New York's Times Square to get a piece of the action.
Thank you, guys. You've given me a life. Thank you very much.
And in the US, for the year just finished, the takings in the video game industry were bigger than the movie industry box office takings. Now that is a major business, an $8 billion industry in the US.
In Australia, it's big business too. This year we'll fork out up to $600 million on computer games and systems. And Microsoft's Alan Bowman is hoping Xbox will take a significant slice of the market.
You're hearing the sound coming out in Dolby Digital surround sound, so you actually hear the car before you see it. You see the graphics rendering there, you're actually seeing the driver driving, the real smoke, the real skid marks, and as you can see, the reflections and the shining on the vehicle right there.
The major advantage of Xbox is its built-in hard drive, like you find in a PC. The result is a greater memory.
On Xbox, what happens is the damage stays there. You leave skid marks on the road. You know, your rear vision mirrors go out. Your lights go out. You know, if you have dents on the doors, they go out, and those dents stay there.
And those little differences make a big difference, you think?
Well, I think for gamers, you know, gamers have been looking for realism, and for the first time ever on Xbox, gamers are really getting ultra-true realism in their gameplay.
To see what all the fuss is about, we invited 2 children, 2 teenagers and 2 20-somethings to test drive the Xbox up against Sony PlayStation 2 and Nintendo 64.
Hey.
You will, mate.
Well. I'm going to beat you. It's a little bit quicker when loading, like you don't have to wait as long. But compared to the Nintendo 64, their Xbox is so much better.
But there might be better games on PlayStation, so I'd like PlayStation better.
If I had $700 to spare, I'd get out and get the Xbox for sure. The Xbox is still very good, but I think I'll just stick to a PlayStation.
It's unreal. I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to, one of my friends buying it. I'm sure I probably won't, but, no, I'm sure people that really enjoy it will get into it and love it.
We had a product around called Pub Pong, and that was what you put the 20 cents in the machine and you played this game. Then Atari came along, then Nintendo came along, then the Sega Master System came along, then Nintendo, Super Nintendo, then it was Nintendo 64, and now look at what we've got. It's just absolutely awesome, isn't it?
John Redenbach from Toys R Us is predicting massive demand when Xbox hits the shelves here next Thursday.
We've got some midnight openings planned ourselves. You'll have to ring your local store to see if they're open at midnight, and those that aren't open at midnight will be open at 7 a.m.
Touchdown! Hit it, Marines!
They can also play back their DVD movies. They can listen to their CD music. And in the future, of course, you can use Xbox to connect to online gaming services because it has a built-in broadband adapter.
Is Australia going to go as crazy as America did over this product?
Well, there's a lot of anticipation. We've been talking to a lot of gamers, we've been talking to retailers, and based on that feedback we've been getting, there's been incredible excitement around the product.
Ben Fordham reporting there. And you can find out more about Xbox by visiting our website. There's the address, 9msn.com.au/ACA. And we'll be back in a moment.
Saturday, glowing budgies, white German shepherds and some mischief.
Oh, hi, Scotty.
I'm getting a hug and a kiss if it kills me. Burke's Backyard, 7 o'clock Saturday on 9.
Hear ye, hear ye. Come to Dirty Dick's Theatre Restaurant. Come and enjoy an unforgettable night of old English fun and feasting. Enjoy a brilliant all-new stage show with King Henry VIII, together with a huge medieval banquet and after-show dancing, all at a super value price. Dirty Dick's Theatre Restaurant. Book now for the best night out for any occasion. More food than you can eat, more fun than you can handle.
At SGIC, we assess each home we insure individually, so you won't pay more than you should.
Until Friday at Kmart, you can get this PlayStation 2 console for just $494.
And a remote control, this DVD and this CD for only $14 more. Kmart is the home of low prices.
The mildest summer in 30 years. At Mannix, we're desperate. We're prepared for a long, hot summer. It didn't happen. The warehouse is still half full. Now we have to clear $2 million worth of stock desperately. Fujitsu fully ducted systems save up to $800. Selected evaporative systems save up to $500. Fujitsu wall splits up to $500 off. This is a genuine sale. $2 million of stock must be cleared. This is the sale we shouldn't be having. Phone 131044 or visit your nearest Mannix showroom.
It's make or break for the Richmond Tigers and the Adelaide Crows. Head-to-head live in the first semi-final of the Wizard Home Loans Cup, coming up next on 9.
Well, he's got a hide as thick as a rhino. Monday night, we'll meet the man who proudly claims to be the world's greatest freeloader. And now he's landed in Australia. And guess who's paying?
It really is $1 million view, isn't it?
It sure is. Unbelievable.
I don't have any money with me. I don't spend any money. I don't even want money. The people in Australia decide where I go and what I get to see.
I want to be like him. Please. It'd be quite useful to be able to get free holidays, yeah.
I can visit a lot of countries, meet a lot of people this way.
So what you're telling me is that you're the world's biggest freeloader.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yep, sponging off all of us. That's one of our stories for Monday night. In the meantime, have a great weekend and please take care if you're on the roads. See you Monday.
This program